Chapter 638. September 1st, Wednesday. The 2010 cohort had the most new students. There were 50-50 in total, slightly more than the fixed quota of 5,000. 50 of them belonged to those who had connections. On this day, MCMU reopened. The school gates had not opened yet. At this moment, there was a sea of people outside. There were students and parents. Fang Yuan tidied up her martial arts uniform excitedly and said softly, "Mom, Dad, you guys go back first. I'm already a grown-up. I'm not a child anymore." Fang Mingrong chuckled. "How old are you? You're only 16 at most. Besides, we're so close to each other. Would it be embarrassing for you to send you home?" "No." Fang Yuan shook her head quickly and said softly, "But I'm already a martial artist. It's embarrassing for my parents to send me to school." Brother also said that parents aren't allowed in. Your brother hasn't been home for a few days. Beside her, Li Yueying was both proud and heartbroken. She said softly, "He's already the vice-chancellor. He didn't even come home to tell us the good news. Everyone says he's been busy lately. Now that he's a leader, he'll be busy." Their son had become the vice-chancellor of Sino Nation's #1 martial arts university at the age of 20. The old couple was extremely proud. However, after becoming a leader, their son seemed to be even busier. Their home was in Magic City, not far away. They had not been home for a few days. As the family of three chatted, a martial arts university student flew over from the school gates and said loudly, "Parents aren't allowed in. You can visit after school starts." As soon as he finished speaking, the student seemed to have seen Fang Yuan's family. He nodded slightly at them, his attitude much friendlier. Fang Yuan had been to MCMAU a few times. Many people knew her. Soon, the school gates opened and students entered one after another. The parents were waiting outside. No one went in. There was no noise either. At the school gates, a few young students were flying through the air, checking things out. Unlike previous years, most of the new students were rank 1 martial artists. This year, the lowest level was rank 2. There were many rank 3 and 4 martial artists. At the back of the crowd, there were 2 rank 5 students holding the fort. This year's students were almost all martial artists. There were even rank for martial artists among them. Teaching the new students a lesson was also the practice of the old students. This practice was only broken during Fang Ping's cohort. Fang Ping had risen to prominence before the old students could teach the new students a lesson. McMao. As soon as they entered the campus, many people took a deep breath. Someone said softly, "I feel refreshed." Is this because of the rich energy? It should be. I heard from my father that MCMU managed to obtain tens of tons of energy ore this time. The ore vein is underground. Dozens of tons? My grandfather said a few hundred tons. I think it's more than that. My uncle said that there are 10,000 tons of ore veins. Everyone, let's not talk about this for now. I heard from my sister that the seniors are going to show their strength to us. Do you think there will be seniors coming to challenge us? What's there to be afraid of? We're all students. I'm also a rank 2. The old students might not be stronger than me. As soon as he said this, a group of 100 martial artists in red martial arts uniforms passed by. Silence. The leading martial artist bellowed, his body surging with a baleful aura. Behind him, the chi and blood of the 100 martial artists soared into the sky. The young man who said he was rank 2 gulped. They were both middle ranks. Forget it, if I'm going to be taught a lesson, so be it. There were more than 100 middle ranks. It would not be too difficult for them to defeat 5,000 of them. At the back of the crowd, a young man and a young woman were discussing in low voices. "Third brother, MCMU is really strong." The one who spoke was a little girl. She looked around curiously as she muttered to herself. The young man who was called third brother suppressed his curiosity and did not look around with his sister. Instead, he said sternly, "Ah, Shui, don't move around. Grandpa said that we should be careful when we come to MCMU this time. He said that MCMU Fang Ping might cause us trouble." Zhang Shui giggled. "Third brother, you're not afraid, are you? MCMAU is also under Grandpa's control." Before she finished speaking, the rank 5 martial artist in front of the crowd shouted, "Don't whisper. Those two, do they think that they can ignore the school rules just because they're middle-rank martial artists?" Vice-Chancellor Fong has been building the Crystal Tower recently and is in need of middle-ranked labor. Both of you report after this and help to refine energy crystals. Zhang Shui and Zhang and were dumbfounded. We just enrolled. No, we haven't even gone through the procedures. We just enrolled. Why did they target us so quickly? Grandpa said that MCMU's Fong Ping was very narrow-minded and would most likely take revenge on them. He also said that it would be best if they applied for CCMEU and went to MCMEU. Grandpa was not in Magic City. He had always been in Capital City. Moreover, this targeting was too obvious. The two of them wanted to say something, but stopped. The leader of the Martial Arts Society was none other than Zhao Lei, who had just come out of closed-door cultivation. At this moment, Zhao Lei was filled with satisfaction. In the past, he had been bullied by Fong Ping to the point of being beaten up every day. Now, Fong Ping did not beat him up anymore. However, he had specially taken care of the two middle-ranked martial artists this time and asked them to take care of him. As soon as these words came out, Zhao Lei knew what he meant. Fong Ping was going to bully someone again. He had been bullied by Fong Ping for a long time and had never had the chance to take revenge. Now that he had the chance, he could use it to bully the newbies. It was very satisfying. Zhao Lei was feeling very good, but he said, in MCMEU, everyone is treated equally. Don't think that you can do whatever you want in MCMU just because your elders are strong. This is a school. Everyone is equal. In this place, strength speaks. If the two of you think you can defeat me, then you can cancel the energy crystal refining mission. As soon as he said this, Zhang Yin and Zhang Shui looked at each other. Both of them had already entered middle stage rank 4, but the other party was a rank 5 martial artist. How could they defeat him? Seeing that the two of them did not respond, Zhao Lei felt a little regretful. It was a pity that he did not find a chance to beat them up. He ignored the two of them, even though he knew that they most likely had a powerful background. An 18-year-old middle-rank martial artist probably had a mine in their family. It did not matter if they had a background. In MCMU, if something happened, there would naturally be powerhouses to protect them. If Fong Ping could not protect them, there was still Dean Li and Vice-Chancellor Wu. After entering MCMEU, family background was useless. Of course, the county magistrate was not as good as the person in charge. It was still useful. When he saw Fang Yuan's curious face among the crowd, Zhao Lei flashed a kind smile. This girl's family background was useful. Other people's grandfather's generation was powerful. Their father's generation was powerful. But this girl's big brother was powerful, and he was famous for being narrow-minded. He still had to control them. He had to be more polite. After laughing for a while, Zhao Lei said again, this time, MCMEU has recruited the most students and also the strongest batch. Not only are there middle-rank students, but there are also many rank 2 and 3 students. The others are almost all rank 1 martial artists. However, after entering MCMEU, no matter how strong you are, you still have to abide by the rules. In the Grandmaster ranking, MCMEU has 8 people on the list. In the rank 6 ranking, MCMEU has 6 people on the list. In the rank 5 ranking, 6 people on the list. In the rank 4 ranking, 11 people on the list. If everyone thinks that you can defeat these people, then you don't have to come to MCMEU anymore. The school has made many arrangements for the new students this time. At this point, Zhao Lei said loudly, everyone, go and handle the admission procedures first and get your dormitories assigned. You only have half an hour. After half an hour, everyone will gather at Field 1. Everyone is a martial artist, and martial artists are also a group of people who value efficiency the most. No procrastination, no delay. Let me remind everyone, Vice-Chancellor Fong thinks that 5,050 people this year are too many. For those who are late or can't show up, 50 of them will be eliminated, in line with the school's admission standards. Zhao Lei said Vice-Chancellor Fong and Vice-Chancellor Fong at every turn. Yang Xiaoman, who was standing next to him, had a look of disdain on her face. Zhao Lei, this bastard, was really shameless now. Not only Zhao Lei, Yang Xiaoman was thinking more about Qin Fengqing. That old senior, the current instructor Qin, was the most shameless. Every now and then, he would shout, "Vice Chancellor Fong has instructions. Grandmaster Fong is mighty. Congratulations to Grandmaster Fong." When she thought of Qin Fengqing, Yang Xiaoman was speechless to the extreme. How did this guy get into the ranks of instructors? She heard that the school forbade him from accepting students, probably because they were afraid that he would lead the students astray. While she was still thinking about it, the thousands of students in front of her were already running toward the registration area. Among the crowd, Fong Yuan ran slightly slower. Zhao Lei suddenly stopped her, chuckling and handing over a key, saying, "Fong Yuan, your procedures are done. This is your dormitory key." Huh? Fong Yuan looked surprised. Was it done? Zhao Lei smiled and said, "It's done. Assigning dormitories is a small matter. Next, assigning schools and instructors is the important thing. Student Fong Yuan, there are many instructors enrolled this year, about 200 in total. Among them, rank SAXS are the strongest, but being strong does not mean that they can teach well. Although rank 5 instructor Zhou Liang's ability is only at rank 5, the quality of his teaching is extremely high. Peak rank for instructor Wang Hao, although he just graduated, he used to be my senior and has rich teaching experience. We learn a lot from Senior Wang. Instructor Wang Hao's teacher is Dean Tang Feng. Dean Tang is also a powerhouse on the Grandmaster ranking. He will also teach you often. Zhao Lei recommended 4 instructors in a row. Under Fong Yuan's dazed gaze, he led them away. Halfway there, Yang Xiaoman could not help but ask, "Did you receive a bribe?" Zhao Lei chuckled. "Don't talk nonsense. Am I that kind of person?" However, Instructor Zhou Liang promised to lend me the 100 honing fruit he obtained previously if I pass him a letter. Lend it to me? Understand? Senior Wang said that if I pass him a letter, he can spare me an hour of his cultivation time in the underground core mine. Yang Xiaoman rolled her eyes and said exasperatedly, "The instructors are all crazy. Is Fong Ping's sister that easy to teach? Aren't they afraid that Fong Ping will be worse?" Cough, cough. Zhao Lei coughed dryly. "Don't talk nonsense. Don't you know what's going on in the school?" Yang Xiaoman was embarrassed when she heard this. She said hatefully, "How can the school have such evil practices?" Qin Fengqing went to catch monsters, while Fong Ping's gaze fell on his sister in the crowd. When he saw Fong Yuan gritting her teeth and running toward Zhang En and his sister, he suddenly sighed. Lu Fengru and the others were also looking at Fong Yuan. Seeing this scene, Old Man Li chuckled. "You have a good sister. I'd rather she choose to run away." Fong Ping's gaze was deep. He said softly, "The bravery of an ignorant man. How can a rank 1 martial artist fight a rank 3 monster? Can't you tell who's stronger and who's weaker? Stupid girl. You don't know how to use your brain at all? Although I, Fong Ping, am rash. Unless it's a desperate situation, I always plan before I act." Before he could finish, Fong Yuan suddenly shouted, "Yuan Ping Club Sisters, kill the enemy with me." "Coming. President, we're here." "President, President, we can't beat them." "President." Fong Ping's face was blank. After a while, he could not help but growl in a low voice. Where did she get the Yuan Ping Club? Didn't her 5,000 Yuan Ping Club members disband? At this moment, among these students, more than 50 people responded. Fong Ping was almost dumbfounded. Where did she come from? Old Man Li was also shocked. Soon, he could not help but laugh. Isn't that Hong Yu? Below, Song Yingji was also confused. How did his daughter become a Yuan Ping Club member? This kid Fong Ping, it was one thing for him to recruit a Ping Yuan Club in school. But what did his sister do? Fong Ping understood now, and his head hurt. So, this girl had also recruited a group of people from MCMEU-affiliated high school? No, that was not right. This year, there seemed to be girls from Sun City who got into MCMEU. Fong Ping glanced at them. He did not know if there were people from Sun City among these people. Nonsense. Fong Ping was helpless. Although he was helpless, he had to admit that people with an organization were much more organized than those without. Soon, about 30 people gathered around Fong Ping. These people began to test the monster that was still attacking the two middle-rank martial artists, trying to attack it. Looking at his sister in front of the crowd, Fong Ping sighed again. After a while, he said, "Instructor, I'm starting to regret it." Beside him, Lu Fengru said softly, "If you want to protect your family, you have to be stronger. You won't be like me all these years, unable to even take revenge. You won't be like Wu Quishan, who saw your senior sister killed with his own eyes." Fong Ping did not say anything. He sank into silence. Genius in a second. Remember website. Mobile version. Chapter 639. On the field. Qin Fengqing was full of mischief as he tossed down 2 ancient wolf beasts. 2 beasts and 1 beast. If it were a martial artist who had entered the catacombs, an upper stage 3 would definitely be able to kill 3 beasts in no time. However, the 5,000 students in front of them were all freshmen. What did being a freshman mean? It meant that they had not learned any combat techniques. It was good enough that they could learn some basic combat techniques. Before entering martial arts universities, freshmen usually focused on cultivating their vitality and honing their bones. At this time, almost all martial artists were vitality martial artists. However, the foundation was there. Soon, the 2 from the Zhang family came back to their senses. The 2 martial artists started fighting the 3 beast. On the other hand, Fan Yuan led her friends to attack the demon beast a few times when it was caught off guard. Seeing that they could not defeat the 3 beast, Fan Yuan raised her arms and shouted, "Yuan Ping Club sisters, let's not fight it. Let's change to another one." With a whoosh, 30 to 50 people retreated and ran to the side to fight the 2 beast. Zhang Shui and Zhang Yin, who had just calmed down, started to lose their balance again. Zhang Shui complained incessantly as she fought with the demonic beast Zhou Xian. Feeling wronged, she said, "Third brother, why did they leave? It would have been better if there were more people earlier." The beast had many targets to attack. Now that everyone had run away, only the 2 of them were left. Zhang kept a straight face and did not say a word as he continued to fight the ancient wolf beast. He was cursing in his heart. That round-faced brat was despicable. It was a good thing that she helped earlier, but she could not just beat the beast, but until it bled and ran away. The beast was going crazy when she ran away. There was nothing he could say. She came to help out of kindness. He could not just ignore the beast and let it attack the 1 martial artists, could he? The entire field was in chaos. On the stage, Fong Ping ignored Fan Yuan and scanned the crowd. After a while, he said softly, "There's no need for them to unite. After all, they don't know each other. There's no need for them to be brave. It's normal for them to be scared when they see a beast for the first time. When I first fought with a martial artist, I was scared too, so I ran, but I wasn't a martial artist then. When the time came, I dared to fight too." Fong Ping was not boasting. He was merely stating the facts. It was true that he was not a martial artist when he participated in the martial science examination. However, at that time, a 1 martial artist from the evil sect was intercepting and killing the examinees outside the school. Fong Ping encountered his opponent. Seeing that he could not outrun him, he dared to turn around and fight. It was normal to run in the face of danger. Since he knew that he couldn't win, should he just stay here and wait for death? However, now that they were in desperate straits, they would still dare to fight. Waiting for death was not the style of a cultivator. At this moment, many people on the field dared to fight. After all, there were more than 5,000 people fighting against 3 demonic beasts. In reality, there were 2 of them, and the strongest one was entangled by someone else. Or rather one, the other 2 was also being held up by someone. There was actually no danger in such a situation. However, there were still some students who not only ran away, but also messed up the group. They kept running to the periphery, causing many students who had already organized to lose their rhythm. Fong Ping noted down these people and sighed. 62 in total. These people can only leave MCMAU. At the side, Huang Jing wanted to say something but hesitated. After a while, he said, "After all, they are all children. Some are not adults yet." Fong Ping said softly, "I understand. If they were only running away, I would have nothing to say for their own safety. However, they messed up their teammates' formation and only cared about themselves without caring about their classmates. Vice Chancellor, MCMU can't accept students like this." At the side, Lu Fengru said coldly, "Expel them." "No, these people haven't been registered yet. They can't be considered MCMAU students. Expel them immediately. I don't expect them to fight now, but I don't want to implicate others. That's the basic rule of martial arts." Qin Fengqing is such a jerk, but the school has never said anything about expelling him. That's because he usually doesn't involve others when he causes trouble. In the sky, Qin Fengqing suddenly landed and said with a wronged expression, "Dean Liu, how am I a jerk?" Lu Fengru glanced at his words and did not bother to reply. Tang Feng's gaze was unfriendly. "You bullied your classmates. You're not a jerk?" His own daughter had been beaten up by him. Fong Ping grinned and said, "That Zhou Qiwei from MCMU, didn't she almost get involved because of you?" Qin Fengqing said gloomily, "You can't blame me for that. How would I know they were there? The wilderness is so big. It's not like I have people there." As he said that, he added, "Moreover, she doesn't blame me. She even texted me a few days ago to congratulate me for becoming an MCMU instructor." "Congratulate you?" Fong Ping was stunned. Qin Fengqing nodded and did not say much. Fong Ping was a little curious. He asked strangely, "How did you congratulate me?" Qin Fengqing was speechless. "You're curious about this? Why do you care about everything?" All right, he was a rich man. He had just entered middle stage rank 6. He still needed his help and had to support him. Therefore, Qin Fengqing said honestly, "It's nothing." She just said, "I can't believe you became an MCMEU instructor," or something like that. "I'm quite impressed." As he said that, Qin Fengqing sighed. "Actually, I don't really reply to her because I don't want trouble." Fong Ping listened for a while and judged. Was this a congratulation? According to his understanding, Zhou Qiwei probably could not believe that a guy like Qin Fengqing could become an instructor. It was obviously a question. How did it become a congratulation? But then again, Zhou Qiwei was still in contact with old Qin. Could the two of them really be together? Fong Ping thought for a while. He had recruited a lot of female martial artists for old Qin. Zhou Qiwei, Ling Yi, and he had even considered Su Zissou. If Qin Fengqing really got together with these people in the future, he would have to thank him. While they were talking, the battle in the field was almost over. After all, there were only 3 monsters. They were much weaker than the people present. In a situation like this, as long as they could withstand the fear at the beginning, the rest would be easy. About 5 minutes later, the battle was completely over. In the field, Fang Yuan stepped on the carcass of a rank 2 monster. She looked at Fong Ping with a face full of excitement. She did it. She was no longer the same as before. She could only watch helplessly as her big brother fought the enemy and was beaten to a bloody pulp, almost dying. Right now, she had killed a wolf. Although there were many people helping, this wolf was still killed by them together. On the stage, Fong Ping glanced at Fang Yuan. There were close to 50 people, all rank 1 martial artists. It was not a big deal for them to kill a rank 2 monster. However, it was the first time a group of newbies had encountered a monster. It was not easy for them to not break down in fear. On the other side, the Zhang siblings had also killed the rank 3 monster. However, many of them were pale. It was not because they were injured, but because they could not stand the smell of blood. Some of the students were also injured. After the battle, their legs were trembling. Fong Ping understood this feeling. He had experienced it before. It was the first time he saw the evil sect martial artist die. He did not feel anything during the battle, but when it was over, he felt weak all over. When the scene quieted down, Fong Ping smiled. "Although I don't want to hurt you, I have to say that you're really weak, especially the 2 rank for martial artists. Don't embarrass your elders." 2 rank for martial artists killed a rank 3 monster. Not only were you injured, but you look like you want to cry. Aren't you afraid of embarrassing your elders by acting like this? Coincidentally, the school has recorded the video of the battle just now. A video like this is very interesting. I will send a copy to your elders. Let them see the situation of two rank 4 martial artists fighting a rank 3 monster and being beaten to a pulp. As soon as he said that, Zhang Shui and Zhang En's faces turned purple. They even recorded a video and even sent it to their grandfather. Two middle-ranked martial artists were beaten by a low-ranked monster and forced to flee in panic. How embarrassing! Zhang En could not hold back his expression. This bastard was obviously trying to trick them. Zhang Shui also looked aggrieved. They killed the monster. Fang Ping ignored them and said, "All right, back to the main topic. A scene like this is just a small scene. The monster is much weaker than you. In a real battle, with your strength, you will encounter thousands of monsters of the same level, maybe even stronger. There are more than 5,000 of you. The 3 monsters are just for you to see the world." Just like that, it took 5 minutes to finish the battle. Actually, I was a little disappointed. Many of you are not from ordinary families who know nothing. Among you, there are descendants of high grandmasters, descendants of grandmasters, and descendants of middle-ranked martial artists. In the end, you have embarrassed your elders. Also, the 62 students who just broke into the camp can apply to other schools. You are all martial artists. There should be schools that will accept you. As soon as he said that, the 62 people in the field took off and flew out of the field. No, I won't go. I finally got into MCMEU. Vice Chancellor Fang, give me another chance. Sob sob, I don't want to go. At this moment, there were cries and curses. Fang Ping ignored them. Outside the field, a group of middle-rank martial artists grabbed these people and dragged them out of the school. These people had been eliminated. On the field, a group of new students were trembling with fear, looking at Fang Ping with some fear. They did not expect to be chased away on their first day in school. Some of the martial artists who had just escaped were now pale. They finally got into MCMAU, but they were chased away just like that. How were they going to explain it to their families? Fang Ping did not care about that. He continued, "What happened just now was really child's play. I repeat, everyone, please think carefully before you act. Whether you want to enter MCMAU or not, it's still not too late to leave now. If you want to leave in the future, you will be a deserter. Martial arts universities are the same as the military department, and right now, they're always in a state of war. Under these circumstances, deserters must be killed." Down below, there was a strange silence. After a long time, someone said bitterly, "Vice Chancellor Fang, is MCMU like this, or all martial arts universities like this?" Fang Ping chuckled. "MCMAU is stronger, so there are more battles. Other martial arts universities have fewer, but it's more or less the same. You are all smart people to be able to get into MCMAU. There are actually many teachers and students who die in martial arts universities every year, but they don't announce it to the public. I still remember the opening speech that Vice Chancellor Huang gave us on the first day I entered the school. Martial artists are great, but also very small and even very sad. You may not understand, and you may understand, but if you want to officially become a student of MCMAU, then you must be prepared to die at any time." Having said that, Fang Ping smiled. "I won't say much. I'll give you 5 minutes. You can call home, call your parents, and ask for their opinions again. Whether you stay in MCMEU, go to a social sciences school, or another martial arts university, it's up to you." When the crowd heard that, some of them took out their phones to call their families. The scene earlier had indeed shocked some of them. On the stage, Fang Ping said softly, "Actually, we should tell the commoners some things. Otherwise, after entering a martial arts university, they won't have the chance to regret it. I think at least let everyone be willing. Nowadays, martial arts universities seem to be tricking people into coming in before making their plans." Old Man Li said lazily, "No one is forcing anyone. It's all voluntary. If they really don't want to enter the catacombs in the past, they would have stayed at rank 2 for the rest of their lives. If they reach rank 3 and don't want to enter the catacombs, then we won't force them. All rank 3 martial artists know about the catacombs. As long as they're not rank 4, they won't be forced to enter. That's why we still give everyone a chance. Whether you're willing or not, that's your business. That's true, but it's also a waste of a lot of resources. As Fong Ping spoke, he noticed that Fong Yuan, who was below the stage, was staring at him. She was still stepping on the monster, as if she wanted some praise. Fong Ping glanced at her. Suddenly, his bad taste kicked in. The monster that Fong Yuan was stepping on suddenly bounced up. Ah! This time, Fong Yuan screamed in fright. Then, the group of people started fighting each other, until the monster's flesh and blood were all torn apart. Only then did they stop with lingering fear in their hearts. As soon as they stopped, the fleshless monster skeleton suddenly stood up and charged at them again. The group of people was dumbfounded. It could still be resurrected after being beaten to this state? A skeletal monster? In their shock, the others stared at the other two dead monsters and started fighting each other. Bad taste. Everyone on the stage looked at Fong Ping. How bad was his bad taste? Why did he have to scare these new students? Most importantly, did he still have a conscience when he purposely tricked his own sister? Fong Ping chuckled. If she's scared enough to quit school, then I'll have it easy. Why did she insist on coming to MCMAU? Killing a rank 2 monster with a few dozen people, and she thinks it's a big deal. As he said that, Fong Ping stopped. Now, the people were a good distance away from the scattered skeleton, not daring to go any closer. After a while, more than 10 people below the stage looked hesitant. Fong Ping did not say much. He said, "There's one more minute. You can leave on your own. It's better to live than to die." Some of them looked ashamed, while others looked conflicted. After a while, someone finally moved and walked out of the field. On their first day in MCMAU, they had no choice but to leave the school. A minute later, 13 people left. Fong Ping did a quick calculation. It was not a lot, a total of 75 people. There were still 4,975 new students. It had to be said that the proportion of people leaving was still very small. Since everyone has made a decision, I won't repeat it. Get ready. We'll start assigning schools and choosing instructors in the afternoon. If no instructor is willing to accept you, then you'll have to participate in big class education. Therefore, if you want to have your own instructor, it's best if you perform well. There will be a total of 200 new students this year, and each instructor will only accept about 10 people, which is 2,000 people. The remaining 3,000 people will enter the big class to learn. Each instructor will take in tens to hundreds of students. All right, everyone can leave now. Fong Ping had no intention of introducing the other instructors to the crowd. It would be a waste of time. He already knew everyone he needed to know. The crowd began to leave. Many people were in no mood to talk, but Fong Ping heard Fong Yuan and some girls muttering. "President, that girl just now is quite strong. Should we pull her into the club? She's already a middle-ranked martial artist. If she joins us, she won't steal the president's position, right? What are you afraid of? Have you forgotten who our vice president is? Big Brother Fong is the vice president. Why would we be afraid of her stealing him? Yes. President, pull her in? No. She's so timid, even more timid than me. She screams in fear when she fights monsters. We don't want her." Zhang Shui, who was at the side, leaned forward, her face full of grievance and anger. She said angrily, "I'm not timid. It's just my first time seeing it. It's a little." Fong Ping listened for a while and shook his head slightly, too lazy to care. He turned to look at Lu Fengru and the others, saying, "After the new students start school, I'm going to Star Town. As for the vice-chancellor, after some of the dangers around Sky Gate City have been cleared, he'll let some of the school's senior rank 1 martial artists go there. These people should work harder. Among the new students, there are many who have surpassed them. As a senior, and a rank 1 at that, don't you think it's embarrassing? Do you want me to go with you?" Old Man Li asked. Fong Ping pondered for a moment, saying, "No need. I'll inform Minister Zhang in advance. Minister Zhang is paying attention. Nothing will happen to Star Town. Last time, when I held a Grandmaster banquet, 2 rank 9s came from Star Town. Relatively speaking, there are still some good intentions. I have a grudge with the Yang family. But now that all the Yang family's high ranks have been wiped out, will the other families be willing to offend MCMEU and Minister Zhang for the Yang family? Lu Fengru humphed. Be more careful. You're not Minister Zhang's son. If you really die, will he shed all pretense of cordiality with Startown for you? It's better to remember that you're only valuable when you're alive. If you're dead, how many people will really be willing to stand up for you? Martial artists are that realistic. Especially when you're in a high position, there are more things to consider, more complicated. From the big picture, even if you're dead, you can't really shed all pretense of cordiality with Startown. Do you understand? Fong Ping nodded. Lu Fengru said again, You're going to Startown just for the matter of resurrecting the martial artists? Part of it. Fong Ping smiled. The main thing is that they said there's a chance to improve our abilities. Then I thought it would be good to give it a try. Other than that, I also want to go to Startown to see if I can understand more about the situation. Previously at the battlefield, I obtained a token that allows me to enter the bounded domain. However, I'm not too sure which bounded domain to enter. Previously, I received some information from the military department, but I'm not part of the military department, so the information they gave me might not be complete. Until now, I still can't determine which bounded domain it is. Why didn't you ask Minister Zhang? It's better to investigate some things on your own. If I asked, it would expose the fact that I have a token. That person has been preparing to rob me. When the time comes, I'll be charged hundreds of billions in processing fees. How am I going to explain myself? Everyone burst out laughing. It was really possible. Fong Ping continued. Moreover, Minister Zhang might not know much. He also said before that his understanding of these things is not as good as Commander Li's. Commander Li knows because he came from Startown. Besides, Startown has started a new era. I'm actually quite curious about it. Startown might not open these things to you. It's okay. I have a spy there. Fong Ping laughed. Beside him, Qin Fengqing shot him a look. Were you talking about that fatty? Were you sure? Would that fatty dare to be a spy in their base? Qin Fengqing did not mention this. Instead, he said, they invited me back then. Fong Ping, I'll go too. Fong Ping shot him a look. Did they invite you? You forcefully impersonated the martial artists. They had no choice but to say that in passing. The second invitation did not even mention you, Qin Fengqing. However, when he came out of the Tian'an catacombs that day, Qin Fengqing had used his spherical celestial bridge to impersonate it. Su Haoran had indeed said that he could go together. Up to you. But be careful. You're not a high rank. If you really run into trouble, we'll leave you behind. That's okay. Oh right, Qin Fengqing said with a grin. The opening ceremony ends today. Shall we continue? He had just sealed one door. Fong Ping insisted on coming out to participate in the opening ceremony. Otherwise, he would have pestered Fong Ping and not let him go. It was too awesome. How many days had it been? 3 days. He had sealed one door in 3 days. Did that not mean that in another week he could seal the Sanjiao Gate? Qin Fengqing had never experienced this feeling before. He wanted nothing more than to tie Fong Ping to his belt. This was no longer a matter of being a rich man. He thought that it would take him a few years to reach peak rank 6. It would not be strange even if it took 10 years. However, with Fong Ping, everything was different. The current Qin Fengqing was extremely pleased. Everyone said that he was shameless when he flattered Fong Ping. But didn't you see how fast he was improving? What did they know? Although Fong Ping said he did not want it, he was still feeling good. Otherwise, would he be able to increase his rank? What was wrong with a few words of flattery? Did he lose a piece of meat? Did he lose money? He did not spend anything. 10 years turned into 10 days. Only the others did not know. Otherwise, Qin Fengqing could guarantee that those who snatched this bowl of rice from him would line up all the way to Capital City. Fong Ping glanced at him. His gaze was unfriendly. He let out a light humph. Keep a low profile. Do you know how much I paid for you? My own golden body has crumbled a few times. If it wasn't because of the bloodline, I wouldn't have bothered with you a long time ago. Qin Fengqing's expression froze. Motherf asterisk cur. He had been fooled by Fong Ping for the past few days. Fong Ping said that he would help Old Wang and the others. That was because Old Wang and the others revived themselves. They took up more than a month's time. Helping him, he was not a resurrected martial artist. Instead, He only spent 3 days to complete the sealing of one door. All of this was because both of them had the same bloodline. Fong Ping helping him made the bloodline connection more compatible. Regarding this, Qin Fengqing was at a loss now. He did not believe it, but he did believe it a little. Of course, regardless of whether he believed it or not, he would accept what Fong Ping said. He would improve his strength first. The others naturally knew that Qin Fengqing's strength had improved recently with Fong Ping's help. Hearing Fong Ping's words, Tang Feng asked curiously, "What bloodline relationship do you have?" Qin Fengqing's expression stiffened. Fong Ping laughed. "I think before I was resurrected, I was related to Qin Fengqing." Everyone's gaze was strange. Was an ancestor really going to appear? Beside him, the corner of Li Hansong's mouth twitched. He did not say anything. Old Qin had already acknowledged himself as his servant. You insisted on being his ancestor. How should this relationship be calculated? It was too complicated. Forget it. He would not think about it anymore. In the afternoon of the 1st, the school allocation began. Actually, the current school allocation did not have such a serious bias in resources. The 4 schools were about the same. However, the functions of each school were slightly different. The School of Production would also participate in the battle, but the students were mostly responsible for logistics. The most important task for the School of Social Sciences for MCMEU now was to collect information about the catacombs. This included the registration of some spoils of war and the statistics of battle achievements. The resources of the 4 schools were not as much as before. Naturally, the school allocation was not as intense as before. The situation where Fong Ping and Fu Changding fought against 1,000 at the same time would not happen again. After the school allocation, it was time for the instructors to be allocated. Fong Ping only glanced at it. When he saw the recruitment signs of some instructors, he was speechless. Why don't you just name them and only recruit Fong Yuan? Fong Ping was speechless. Fong Yuan was also very conflicted. She felt that she met every instructor's recruitment requirements, except for the one who wrote Little Round Face. However, because there were so many people, it was not easy to choose. Qin Fengqing had tricked her before. However, this time, Qin Fengqing was not allowed to recruit students at all. Naturally, Qin Fengqing was not there. After struggling for a long time, her good friend Song Ye's father kept staring at her. Just as Fong Yuan was about to choose Song Ye's father, she heard her eldest brother's voice. It was Bai Ruoshi. There were not many female rank 6 instructors. There were only 3 of them. Fong Ping was not too familiar with the other 2. He was more familiar with Bai Ruoshi. She had a good personality too. When Fong Ping and the others were carrying out their mission, she had secretly protected them for a long time. As for Old Song, Fong Ping also heard him tricking his sister. Old Song was not bad, but Fong Ping still remembered that Old Song owed him 1 credit. Fong Ping felt that Fong Yuan should stay away from this kind of person who owed money and did not return it. Therefore, under the reluctant gazes of the instructors, Fong Yuan chose Bai Ruoshi. As for the 2 from the Zhang family, Fong Ping did not let them choose on their own. He made some arrangements and asked Huang Jing to accept them. After all, Zhang Tao was a desperation powerhouse. However, he had to admit that promoting the game first, and then shooting a few Catacombs battle promotional videos, it was relatively easier to let everyone gradually understand the Catacombs, and then popularize it. Otherwise, if all the facts were revealed at once, the ordinary people might not be able to accept it immediately. After talking about this, Fong Ping asked, "Minister, is there an introduction to the bounded zones in the game?" "No. I've already said that we don't know much about the bounded zones and the Forbidden Sea. When we understand more, we'll update it in the game." At this point, Zhang Tao said again, "As for the filming, don't look for me. I'm too busy." Fong Ping rejected immediately. "Anyway, there are many martial artists in this industry. Just do as you see fit." Actually, what I mean is I want to make it more realistic. Use real monsters. Even use real catacombs martial artists. Fong Ping was stunned. He could not help but say, there are thousands of martial artists participating in the Battle of MCMAU. The military might even reach up to 100,000 people. We'll see. We haven't decided yet. The military department will cooperate. Popularizing these through movies and games is also a good idea. That's true. Right, Minister, if we really want to make the Battle of MCMAU into a movie, I have a request. The actor who plays me must be handsome. Also, I must show my charm. As for the name, actually, you can use my real name. I don't mind. Zhang Tao was speechless. After a while, he said, we'll talk about it later. One last thing, MCMAU has gained a lot this time. Minister, Fong Ping suddenly had a bad premonition. He said immediately, MCMAU is so poor that they can't even afford to eat. This time, you're the one who made the biggest fortune. Zhang Tao's tone faltered. What you said makes sense. The point is, has MCMAU reached the point where they can't even afford to eat? Kid, you're going against your conscience. Do you really think I'm stupid? Ignoring him, Zhang Tao sighed softly. Fong Ping, it's not easy to take care of the other universities. Take NMAU, for example. They have thousands of people, and the government allocates billions every year. Well, it's a little more now, but there are also more people. Wang Jinyang calls the department dozens of times a day. He cries a few times. What else can I do? During the Battle of Tian'an in April, several martial arts university vice-chancellors died in the catacombs. This year's allocations have been allocated. We can't deduct their resources just because their vice-chancellors died in battle. Can we? Instead, we should give them more. Other universities have few powerhouses. Entering the catacombs is really a narrow escape. Many students don't even have the most basic pills. Since MCMU's conditions are passable, can you bear to see other universities sacrifice a few lives for a vitality pill? Then, what you mean is MCMU's allocation this year. Owe it for now. Zhang Tao sighed. Owe it? When there's a surplus in the head, I'll give it to MCMAU. Fong Ping almost vomited blood. Is this what you're doing? Are you trying to fleece me? Without waiting for Fong Ping to speak, Zhang Tao continued, if it really doesn't work, if you're not feeling well, then come and slash me a few times. I'll give you 100 million for each slash. You can also slash me a few hundred times to repay the debt. It's really not easy in the department. I have no other choice. When a paragon decided to be shameless, there was nothing you could do about it. Slash you a few hundred times? Fong Ping gritted his teeth. Fine, you said it yourself. If I can't slash you to death now, you can be arrogant. When I can slash you to death, remember what you said today. It's only a few tens of billions of allocation. Zhang Tao, you even said this. Repay the debt with my body. Fine, I'll do it. Fong Ping gritted his teeth. Minister, since you've said so, can I say no? A few hundred US dollars, right? Fine, I'll save it first. If you don't give MCMAU the allocation next year, then it'll be 1,000 US dollars. Just you wait. On the other end, Zhang Tao looked indifferent. At times like this, he would save whatever he could. This year, martial arts universities had expanded their enrollment by a few 100,000 people. They're all crying piteously for food. MCMAU's mouth is dripping with oil. So what if you don't allocate tens of billions? A few hundred cuts? Are you really going to slash me, kid? Zhang Tao ignored him and quickly said, then I'll get busy. I'm hanging up. Do. Old Zhang hung up the phone very quickly, not giving Fong Ping any time to speak. Fong Ping's face was full of anger. Bully! MCMU has money, and you embezzle it. Fine, let's wait and see. I'll hammer you two kids to death sooner or later. Thinking of this, Fong Ping picked up his phone and made a call. The moment he opened his mouth, he said, Zhang In and Zhang Shui. Make arrangements for them to learn combat techniques. Get a few rank 6 instructors to guide them well. Remember, guide them well. On the other end, someone responded, no problem. They would guide them well. Everyone understood that only those who went through the hardest of hardships could rise to the top. After hanging up, Fong Ping exhaled and murmured, "Looks like the era of national martial arts education is coming." Various countries had joined forces to create a catacombs game that was completely realistic. With vigorous promotion, there would be a large audience. In this day and age, martial artists truly existed. If the game was done well, perhaps it could inspire the hearts of some people to become martial artists. Moreover, this way he could save a lot of time in the future. When the time came, all he had to do was tell everyone that everything in the game was real. He said impatiently, "There are a lot of things to do in the school." The vice-chancellor and the others went to the catacombs to prepare to transform Sky Gate City. Even Instructor Tang and the others went to help. Right now, everyone else in the school is busy with the new students. Only you have the time to take care of yourself. Qin Fengqing was helpless and mumbled, "Who asked you to be the headmaster for no reason? Look at Tai Tu, it's so cool." Nothing happened at all. He said that he would guide students during this year's recruitment, but in the end, he didn't. He's even happier than me. After saying that, Qin Fengqing didn't continue and said, "All right, yesterday's game advertisement. What happened?" "It's based on the real situation in the catacombs. You can study it when you have time." "No wonder the school is promoting it." Qin Fengqing understood and said, "Are you going to make the truth public?" "Actually, I don't think it's a good thing. To be honest, it's also our hope to let ordinary people live in peace. If it were to be made public, do you think it would still be like this?" "The problem is that we don't have enough time." Fong Ping sighed softly. "In another 2 to 3 years, all 108 passageways will be opened. When that time comes, what will happen will still happen. When that time comes, I'm afraid it'll be very difficult for us to stop the catacombs' all-out attack. Rather than panic and chaos at that time, it would be better to reveal the truth step by step now. That way, everyone will have some time to come to terms with it, so that when the catacombs invade, it won't be chaotic in an instant. If it really is chaotic and billions of people are in a mess, just imagine that doomsday-like chaotic scene. Will it be better than now?" That's true. It was rare for Qin Fengqing to feel emotional. It was a good thing not to disclose the truth to ordinary people. At least everyone could live in relative comfort. If they really made it public, that might not be the case. However, the situation was getting worse and worse. There were more and more battles, and more people were dying. If this went on, they would not be able to keep it a secret. He might as well take this opportunity to unveil the veil bit by bit. Fong Ping did not continue. Instead, he said, "Inform Fatty that we'll be visiting Star City in mid-September." "All right, go. Only at night." Qin Fengqing explained, "Star Town is actually situated in a barrier that is solidified by spiritual energy, similar to a domain. Because of the existence of the barrier, there is no way to transmit signals. However, they had an outer city. Fatty and the others would go online at night. At that time, only then would they be able to contact people." Fong Ping really did not know about this. He said with some surprise, "I thought they could communicate. Turns out they're in the outer city. These fellows are really free, going online at night." Watching the two of them leave, Chen Yinshi wanted to say something, but stopped herself. There were already rumors flying around in the school. How inappropriate was it for Fong Ping to hang out with these men every day? Chapter 641. On the 3rd of September, Fong Ping began his closed-door cultivation. At the same time, this batch of new students began to suffer. Last year, Tang Wen's batch of new students was tormented. Cleaning, night raids on dormitories, guidance from older students. Although this batch of new students were all martial artists, there were even middle-ranked ones. However, the older students today did not lack middle-ranked martial artists. Therefore, in the middle of the night, there were many wails and howls. From time to time, new students were beaten up. To put it nicely, it was called training. Even Fang Yuan was not spared. Fong Ping was in closed-door cultivation. In the middle of the night, The grandmasters did not care about these things. In the chaos, they covered their faces and beat Fang Yuan up. Who would know it was them? Fang Ping had bullied many people, such as Zhao Lei, Yang Xiaoman, and Tang when taking care of a rank 1 martial artist was too easy. Fang Yuan was beaten up for a few nights in a row. She could not take it anymore. She gathered dozens of her sisters and ambushed them in the dormitory at night, causing another big fight. Of course, the result of the fight was that the dozens of Yuan Ping club members went to class the next morning with bruises all over their faces. Dozens of rank 1 rookies, no matter how they ambushed them, would still be asking for a beating. This time, Fang Yuan made up her mind to cultivate hard and fight back. She had heard from others that her brother specialized in beating up older students, beating them all the way up. Regarding these, Fang Ping was cultivating so naturally he did not care, even if he knew it was possible to take revenge on those fellows. Fang Yuan was beaten up, but it was the girl who insisted on coming to MCMAU. It was not until the 10th of September that Fang Ping came out from underground. Finally, he had fulfilled his promise from before. After sealing Qin Fengqing's Sanjiao Gate, Fang Ping did not care about him anymore, sending him flying with a casual kick. At this time, Star City also replied, welcoming Fang Ping and the others to Star City at any time. 11th of September. Macmao. At the school gate, Fang Ping, Li Hansong, Wang Jinyang, Yao Qingjun, and Qin Fengqing gathered. As soon as they met, Fang Ping smiled. Old Wang, I heard from the minister that you often call to complain. Wang Jinyang shook his head and said quickly, it was the minister himself who called me to ask for more resources. He said that MCMAU has a lot of resources, so the financial allocation can be waived and the other schools can get some. Fang Ping's movements froze. Beside him, Yao Qingjun said mildly, the minister has indeed spoken to all the martial arts universities. This year they can get a little more, but we still have to consider MCMAU's favor. The minister has also cleared MCMAU's name. Zhang Tao was quite honest in handling matters. He had informed all the clans. This time, it was MCMU's generosity. Every school received a lot more this year. It was not only MCMU's resources, but also Zhang Tao's previous harvest. Martial arts universities received a lot of energy stones. Fang Ping harumphed. Damn you, old Zhang. You even lied to me that it was old Wang and the others who called and cried to ask for it. But it turned out that you were the one who gave it to them. Wang Jinyang didn't care what he thought and asked, how do we get there? Let's drive. Qin Fengqing will drive. This guy follows us all day to get some benefits. Let him do some work. At the side, Qin Fengqing, who was already peak rank 6, pretended not to hear this, his face indifferent. Nonsense, of course I'm going to follow him. These fellows would find opportunities wherever they went. This time, they had fallen behind mainly because they had not been able to keep up with the king battlefield. Even if they were beaten to death, he would not want to be separated again. As for driving, it was a small matter. Very soon, Qin Fengqing got a small car over. As they got into the car, Fang Ping said, did you guys notice? Star City invited us a few times. When I said I wanted to visit, they replied very quickly. It seemed like they were a little too polite to us. The minister said it's fine even if we go. The possibility of them scheming against us is not too high. If that's the case, will it benefit Star City if we go? There are no benefits, but they're giving us benefits. Do you guys believe that Star City is so generous? Wang Jinyang pondered for a moment and said, there must be a reason why Star City has been gathering resurrected martial artists all these years. No matter what, it's still necessary to go. In the outside world, we've almost never met other resurrected martial artists. Previously, SCMAU seemed to have a martial artist with partial bone mutation. I heard that he's not at SCMAU anymore. I don't know if he went to Star City. Fang Ping shook his head and said, no, Old Chen said that the government specially recruited him. I think he went to the military department. Is that so? Wang Jinyang did not say anything else. Beside him, Yao Qingjun thought for a while and said, no matter what their motives are, we'll talk about it when we get there. Minister Zhang probably won't harm us. Otherwise, the few of us wouldn't have been able to come out of the imperial battleground. Zhang Tao treated these genius students of martial arts universities quite well. He had appeared a few times for their sake. Fang Ping slandered, "Maybe old Zhang is up to no good. He's waiting for us to cultivate the origin path. Then he'll kill us and comprehend our origin path." They could not help but look at him. "Were you not afraid that old Zhang would hear you?" Fang Ping said nonchalantly, "It's fine. He's in capital city, thousands of miles away. He won't eavesdrop. Otherwise, if it spreads out thousands of miles, he'll actually consume a lot of energy. Even if we scold him to death now, he won't know." As soon as he said that, everyone laughed. Old Zhang's secret of eavesdropping was now public knowledge. As Qin Fengqing drove, he said, "Of the 13 clans in suppressing Star City, not all clans are connected to the revived warrior. Only a portion of the clans are involved in the matter of the revived warrior. The Jiang family doesn't seem to be involved." The damn fatty said that the Jiang family doesn't have resurrected martial artists. As for the other families, a few of them seem to have marriage alliances with resurrected martial artists. Fang Ping nodded slightly and said, "Star City has 13 families. Li Jiang, Su, Chun, Shenwei, Zheng, Jiang, Yang, and Lu. These are only 10 families. Did Jiang Chao mention the other 3? I don't think I've had any dealings with them." Among the 13 families, Fang Ping had dealings with people from the other 10 families. He had not come into contact with the remaining 3 families. Qin Fengqing shook his head. He had not asked about this either. They chatted along the way. Star City was near the Taihang Mountains. Even if Qin Fengqing drove the car as fast as he could, it would still take some time to cover a distance of more than 1,000 kilometers. The Taihang Mountains ran through 3 provinces and 1 city, starting from capital city in the north, Mount Wangwu in the south, and Xishan Plateau in the west. This time, Fang Ping and the others were going to the Xishan area. Star City was located not too far away from the ancient city of Zhongdu, which was known as the most well-preserved in Sino Nation. Of course, it was not too far away. It was still close to 100 miles away. When the sky darkened, the car arrived at a small town. It was a small town with almost no outsiders. Few people came here, and it was not a scenic spot. Although it was close to the Taihang Mountains, there was no natural scenery nearby that would make one's eyes shine. It was just an ordinary, small, and peaceful town. Outside the town, there were rice paddies with people working. The road was not easy to walk on, and driving was not easy either. This was probably the reason why few outsiders came here. Before Fang Ping and the others' car entered the small town, a silhouette appeared in front of the car in the blink of an eye, barking coldly. This place doesn't welcome outsiders, and it's not a scenic spot. If it were a normal person, they would probably know that this person was a martial artist when they saw him suddenly appear and would probably turn around and leave. However, the people in the car were not normal people. The other party could not even sense Fang Ping and the others' auras. Wang Jinyang opened the car window and stuck his head out, smiling. "We're here because we were invited. Uncle, do you know how to get to Star City?" As soon as he said that, the expression of the middle-aged man blocking the way changed slightly. He glanced at the car again. 5 young people. Real young people. He did not see any weapons. Of course, he did not see Qin Fengqing's Changdao at the side. Among the 5 of them, Qin Fengqing was the only one with a visible weapon. Just as the middle-aged man was still analyzing the situation, someone laughed loudly from afar. "Fang Ping, Baldy, you've arrived." The next moment, a plump figure appeared, sprinting toward them. Seeing the plump man sprinting toward them, the middle-aged martial artist's expression changed again. He said hurriedly, "Young Master Jiang." "Uncle who?" Jiang Chao's expression was gloomy. He said sheepishly, "I've already said that it's a new era. There's no such thing as a young master. Just call me by my name. Isn't this embarrassing?" Having said that, Jiang Chao was already in front of the car. He chuckled. "I received your call, so I came here. I thought you guys flew over. I didn't expect you to drive." Having said that, Fang Ping and the others got out of the car. Jiang Chao smiled and introduced, "This is Uncle Hu, also from Starfate Town. Guards." The middle-aged man called Uncle Hu added. He glanced at Fong Ping and the others and said in a muffled voice, "Starfate Town doesn't receive guests." "I didn't know that you were young Master Zhang's guests." Fong Ping looked confused. "Am I in the catacombs now?" Zhang Chao was also helpless. He smiled bitterly. "I'm sorry for the embarrassment. Starfate Town was built almost at the same time as Star City. All these years, we've rarely interacted with the outside world. Although we can communicate here." Uncle Hu is more traditional. As he said that, he smiled at the middle-aged man. "Uncle Hu, go do what you need to do. I'll take care of them. I'll take my leave then." The man cupped his hands and looked at Fong Ping and the others again. His eyes were filled with suspicion. He still could not sense the martial artist's aura. Qin Fengqing, however, could vaguely sense it. The man was not weak. He was a rank for martial artist, but he was just a guard in a small town outside Star City. Star City still had a strong foundation. Zhang Chao waited for him to leave before saying with a smile, "My pervert and the second son of the Su family are waiting in town. Let's go there first. We'll go to Star City tomorrow." Qin Fengqing could not help but ask, "Can't we go at night?" "It's not that we can't. It's just not official enough." Zhang Chao explained, "You're a little late. Star City can't receive guests in the middle of the night, right? We'll go to Star City tomorrow. It'll be more convenient to communicate during the day." Fong Ping had no objections. He got out of the car and looked around as he walked. After a while, he asked, "Are the people here all from Star City?" "Sort of." Zhang Chao said softly, "Actually, the founders of this town were the old ancestor servants. You know that in that era, it was normal for powerhouses to have servants. The old ancestors built Star City, and their servants built Starfate Town outside. Of course, that was in the past. Who knows how many generations have passed since then?" Li Hansong was curious too. He asked, "Are there still servants in Star City now?" That Zhang Chao laughed dryly. "There are. After all, we cough, we don't know how to work our limbs, and we can't distinguish between the 5 grains. When we're weak, we still have to eat, drink, poop, and sleep. Even my grandpa and the rest can't do that, right?" Fong Ping laughed. "What's there to be embarrassed about? Actually, I've already guessed it. It's normal." Zhang Chao laughed. "I was afraid that you'd laugh at me. There are more than 5,000 people in Star City. Each family has 400 to 500 people. How can they all be the true descendants of the top powerhouses? About half of them are the servants you mentioned. These people are actually passed down from the older generation after generation." Yao Qingjun and the rest did not say anything. Star City was isolated from the world. There was no need to talk about human rights here. Moreover, the servants in Star City might not be worse off than the people in the outside world. They might even be better. After all, it was a place with more than 10 top powerhouses. Even in modern times, although some powerhouses did not have servants, it was almost the same. Soon, they reached the outskirts of the town. Fong Ping took a look. The town had a city wall. It was the kind of ancient city wall that seemed to be abandoned. However, Fong Ping could still sense the aura of a few martial artists. 2 rank 3s and 1 rank 4s. This kind of strength was not weak. These people must have been notified by Uncle Hu earlier. They did not show up and continued to hide on the abandoned city wall. In Fong Ping's opinion, this was completely unnecessary. Star City. Those who knew about Star City's situation would not barge into this place. Those who did not know would probably not come here either. Of course, he could not be bothered with these things. The city gate of the abandoned city wall had been demolished. Now a large archway had been built. The archway was carved with a few big words, Starfate Town. A few people stood under the archway. Zhang Hao was among them. Star City did not fail to receive Fong Ping and the rest. Other than Zhang Hao, there was also a young martial artist who was also a grandmaster-level powerhouse. At this moment, he was also observing Fong Ping and the rest. 2 grandmasters came to receive them. The treatment was considered high standard. "Fong Ping, you're quite late." Zhang Hao laughed heartily and took the initiative to walk toward Fong Ping. It seemed like he wanted to give Fong Ping a hug. This action slightly surprised the young martial artist beside him. Why was Psycho Jiang so polite? Everyone in Star City knew that Jiang Hao was extremely arrogant. He almost did not take any martial artists of the same generation seriously. Even in Star City, including the catacombs, this guy was extremely arrogant. Now, however, he actually took the initiative to greet Fong Ping. The young man knew Fong Ping. Although they had not interacted before, there were few in Star City who did not know Fong Ping. This guy was also an arrogant person. He had killed Yang Feng of the Yang family. The Yang family's Yang He, the rank 8 powerhouse, had also been killed by MCMU's Li Chongqing on the spot. This news had spread throughout Star City. However, the young man was still surprised by Jiang Hao's attitude. For a moment, he was a little dazed. It did not matter if he was dazed. In front of him, Fong Ping did not give Jiang Hao a chance to hug him. Instead, he reached out and shook hands with him, chuckling. Congratulations, brother Jiang. Jiang Hao had actually broken through to upper stage rank 7. This was still a little surprising. He had actually broken through rank 7 only a few years ago. He had only entered the King's Battleground 3 years ago during the youth competition, advancing a level every year. It had to be said that this person from the Jiang family was quite formidable. Jiang Hao said with some emotion, I can't compare to you. You were only rank 6 when I saw you last time. Now, you're already middle stage rank 7. Besides, I still remember that slash from last time. Last time in the King's Battleground, Fong Ping had killed an upper stage rank 7 with 1 slash and severely injured another. Now he heard that he had killed a rank 8 with 1 slash. Jiang Hao believed that he was extremely talented and had many tricks up his sleeves. However, facing the current Fong Ping, he did not judge who would win or lose. He did not want to judge either. The outcome would probably not be too good. The more arrogant a genius was, the more they would only look at geniuses who were stronger than them. However, Fong Ping and the others were resurrected martial artists. This was also a reason for him to comfort himself. Although not all resurrected martial artists were so strong, he had defeated many resurrected martial artists. He would just take it that Fong Ping and the others were special. They were the top powerhouses among the resurrected martial artists. After the two of them had finished greeting each other, the young man behind them walked over. He nodded lightly and said, I'm Su Ziyu, Su Zis's second brother. Fong Ping, Wang Jinyang, they introduced themselves. Su Zisa had 2 brothers. Fong Ping knew that Su Zisa had mentioned it once. However, her second brother's name sounded like a woman's, so Fong Ping still did not know. For a moment, he actually thought of the Ayu that old man Li mentioned. Fong Ping shuddered slightly. He could not think about it. The moment he thought about it, he felt that old man Li's Ayu was like this. After getting to know each other, Su Ziyu smiled politely and said, Su Zisa has been mentioning you all to us. Her words were full of admiration. Now that I've met you all today, you are indeed dragons and phoenixes among men, Jiang Hao said impatiently. Don't be like that. I hate people like you the most. Why do you talk so much nonsense? Having said that, Jiang Hao smiled and said, just one sentence. We'll rest here tonight and enter the city tomorrow. This time, Mount Royal Sea might have a progenitor returning. I don't know who it is. If the progenitor returns, I'll have the chance to meet him. Fong Ping responded. Beside him, Qin Fengqing asked curiously, will it be good for cultivation when we reach Star Town? Jiang Hao did not reply, nor did he pay attention to him. This time, the atmosphere was awkward. Beside him, Jiang Chao quickly smiled and said, Baldy, what's the hurry? Won't you know when we get there? Qin Fengqing was not angry. He squinted at Jiang Hao. How arrogant! This guy only seemed to be polite to Fong Ping. He did not even pay attention to old Wang and the others. As for himself, a rank 6, naturally he would not pay attention to him. I'll hammer you to death sooner or later. Qin Fengqing did not say much. Life was full of ups and downs. He just had to keep these words in his heart. Back then, there were many people who bullied me. Now I beat them up until they cried for their parents. Currently, only Fong Ping, old Wang, Tang Feng, and old man Li had not taken revenge. Thinking of this, Qin Fengqing suddenly felt a little absent-minded. The people who bullied me seemed to be these few guys. Have I not been able to take revenge? He had been beaten up by old Wang when he was rank 1. After he reached rank 4, he had been living under Fong Ping's oppression. Mother asterisk her. I think I only beat up Zhang Yu. Qin Fengqing's heart was inexplicably sorrowful. He glanced at Jiang Hao. I don't believe that these monsters can't beat you up for now. Just wait and see. While Qin Fengqing was determined to surpass Jiang Hao did not even look at him. As he walked into the town, he laughed and said, there are many people in the city who are curious about you. When you enter the city tomorrow, don't hold back. Beat up whoever you don't like. Of course, you can forget about killing people. Otherwise, you won't be able to leave Star Town. I have a few enemies in the city too. I'll show them to you tomorrow. It's not easy to deal with them normally. Tomorrow, find a chance to teach them a lesson. All right, I heard that you killed a rank 8. How did it feel? Nothing much. Fong Ping laughed. Just SOSO. Rank 8. I probably can't do a rank 8 now. But there's no rush. It'll happen sooner or later. Jiang Hao spoke, as if there was no one else around. He brought everyone to the front of an antique courtyard and explained, this is where we usually have fun. It's the clubhouse outside. Surfing the internet, exercising, cultivating, singing, all of them are allowed. If you want to find a woman, that's fine too. There are women here who do this. Just give them some cultivation pills. If you're interested, I can find one for you. Fong Ping laughed. No need. You can keep it for yourself. Forget it then. I'm not really into this either. Fatty, on the other hand, does this a lot. I didn't. Jiang Chao was furious. His face was full of anger. He argued, I was just talking about ideals with them. This kind of thing is wrong. Women should have more self-respect. They're outsiders of Star Town, after all. How could they do this kind of thing? Pervert. Don't accuse me wrongly. Huh. Jiang Hao's face was full of disdain. Do you think I'll believe you or not? Beside him, Suzy, who felt like her head was about to explode. Both of you say everything out there. Does Star Town have no dignity? He really did not want to come and pick someone up with these two brothers. However, in the city, the only ones who were on good terms with Fong Ping were the Jiang family and the Su family. On the Jiang family side, the two brothers had dealt with Fong Ping before. Su Haoran had also met Fong Ping many times. As for the others, Star Town was worried that they would fight if they did not get along. Fong Ping and the others were not easy to deal with. Most of the rank 7 powerhouses from the other clans in the city had not seen Fong Ping and the others. No matter how famous they were, it was just fame. Fong Ping had killed someone from the Yang family. Star Town and the Yang family had lived together for many years. Their relationship was not something Fong Ping could compare to. If there was any commotion, Su Haoran was not worried about Fong Ping and the others. He was really worried that these few brats would be ruthless. Even if they did not kill someone, it was still possible that they would cripple someone. As for the deterrence of the absolute peak, King Wu was not someone to be trifled with. Star Town had taken the initiative to invite them over. King Wu had also informed them. If there was a conflict now, it might get out of hand. Jiang Hao did not care what Suzy was thinking. He had always been used to doing things his own way. When he saw someone he liked, he would talk more. When he saw someone he did not like, he would not even bother with them. As he led them into the courtyard, he continued, right, I forgot to tell you. That Ji Yao and Feng Yesheng have both entered rank 7. Both of them are now in the rank 7 territory. These days, they've been provoking you guys to go in. That woman is very slippery. I tried to kill her a few times, but I didn't get the chance. That Feng Yesheng guy is also very difficult to deal with now. That brat has taken over Feng Qing's forces and has been moving around with 7 or 8 rank 7 martial artists. Fong Ping grinned. They're just clowns. Brother Jiang, bring a message to me. No matter how many rank 7 martial artists they send, if they have the guts, they can fight to the death at Mount Royal Sea. I'll kill as many as they come. Don't turn around and ask for help from their ancestors. It just so happens that I'm tight on money recently. If I kill a bunch of rank 7 martial artists, I can also make some money. I promise to bring it. But those guys probably won't dare to. They're indeed clowns. Ignore them. When I get the chance, I'll kill a few of them and let them continue to clamor. The two of them talked as if there was no one else around. Beside them, Suzy finally understood why Jiang Hao and Fong Ping would talk. These two guys, one was more arrogant than the other. Initially, she thought that Jiang Hao was arrogant enough. Now, it seemed that she was ignorant. They walked in front, behind them. Qin Fengqin grabbed Jiang Chao and said with an unfriendly expression, "Let's spar for a while later." Jiang Chao looked innocent. "Motherf asterisk Kerr, did I offend you? Do you want to beat me up again?" Qin Fengqin let out a humph. "I can't beat the old, but I can beat the young. Since your brother doesn't give me face, then I'll beat you up first." Genius in a second. Remember this site's address. Mobile version. Chapter 642. After entering a reception hall, Jiang Hao invited them to take a seat. Fong Ping sat down on the sofa and touched the leather sofa. He was slightly moved. These fellows were truly extravagant. 7th grade, demonic beast skin. Qin Fengqin, who came in later, didn't look at the sofa made of demonic beast skin. His nose twitched as he looked at Jiang Chao and asked, "There's a mind buried underneath?" Jiang Chao glanced at him, strangely. "Damn, why are you moving your nose when you're sensing energy?" Even though he was cursing in his heart, he still replied, "Not much. It's just some middle and low-grade ores that aren't suitable for cultivation. That's why I brought them here, to dissipate some of their energy. Grade 9 energy ores could be directly absorbed for cultivation, but middle and low-grade energy ores could not. These energy stones could only be converted and released through certain means." Qin Fengqin nodded slightly and did not say much. It was not like he was someone who had not seen the world. MCMU still had a big mind. However, when he saw the energy fruits used to entertain the guests, Qin Fengqin couldn't help but casually toss a few into his mouth. Everyone ignored him. As soon as they sat down, Suzy Yu took the initiative to speak, not letting Jiang Hao continue. She said, "I haven't had the time to congratulate Mr. Fong before. Magic City Martial Arts University's great victory over Sky Gate City this time is worthy of celebration. There's a lot of luck involved," Fong Ping said modestly. He smiled and said, "MCMU has only been established for a short time after all. Our strength is still limited, and our powerhouses are also limited." As he said that, Fong Ping smiled. "I heard that there are less than 5,000 people in Star City, and more than half of them are middle-ranked. This is what true strength looks like." Suzy burst into laughter. "Mr. Fong, who did you hear this from? There are less than 1,000 middle-ranked martial artists in suppressing Star City. How could it be more than half?" Fong Ping laughed. "Is that so? Maybe I misheard. There were only 5,000 people, 50 to 60 high grandmasters and grandmasters, and close to 1,000 middle ranks. This kind of strength was already shocking. A peerless expert was indeed incredible. If I may be so bold as to ask, are all the people in suppressing Star City martial artists? That's not true. There are still thousands of people who are not martial artists." Suzy Yu explained, "Mr. Fong, you also know that some people are not suited to practicing martial arts. Their qi and blood are stagnant at the extreme stage, and they are unable to go deeper into bone honing." "I see." Fong Ping agreed verbally, but his mind was already plotting. Star Suppressing City was indeed a terrifying place. 50 to 60 high ranks, close to 1,000 middle ranks, and close to 3,000 lower ranks. This kind of strength, other than high ranks, was actually inferior to MCMAU. But it depended on the base number, just over 5,000 people. The people from MCMAU stood out from more than 1 billion people. There was no comparison between the two. Fong Ping pondered for a moment before asking. It's said that the descendants of powerhouses have stronger bloodlines and stronger martial arts talents. Big Brother Sue, I am indeed quite curious about this. You also know that the descendants of experts from the outside world are not very old. Even Commander Li and Minister Zhang were less than 100 years old, and their descendants were even younger. Are there any second-generation descendants of the peerless patriarchs still alive in Star Town? Experts needed time to accumulate strength. Zhang Tao and Li Jun were both less than 100 years old. They were the second generation, the elder in his 60s or 70s, the younger in his 40s or 50s. Such an age was not considered old for a martial artist. Therefore, the descendants of these two were very strong. One of Li Zhen's sons, who was also Li Yiming's father, had already reached rank 8. However, it was not to the extent that the 8th rank represented the strength of the bloodline. However, Startown still had some value as a reference. Suzy Yu pondered for a moment. After a while, she said, the second-generation patriarchs actually suppressed Mount Imperial Sea with the patriarchs. Most of them died in battle there. As for whether there are any patriarchs still alive, this, Mr. Fong, after all, we are too far away from that era. Beside her, Jiang Hao said lightly, actually, there is nothing to hide. There should be, but we are not sure how many there are. 13 families. Since they can be passed down, the number of second-generation patriarchs will not be too few. It is a fact that many died in battle. However, I heard that there are still second-generation patriarchs alive. Some are inside Mount Imperial Sea. Some may be in the boundary lands. Suzy Yu glanced at Jiang Hao and frowned slightly. Jiang Hao did not think much of it. He looked at Fong Ping and said, there are a total of 25 boundary lands in Sino Nation. Currently, there is still one that has not been opened. As for the boundary lands, Sino Nation can reach 26 boundary lands. Actually, a few of these 26 boundary lands have already been explored. Some have been completely abandoned, leaving only those fatal crises that do not bring any benefits. Some have even been eroded by the Forbidden Sea and become a tributary of the Forbidden Sea. Fong Ping's gaze flickered. He said immediately, erosion by the Forbidden Sea? You mean some boundary lands actually no longer exist? Yes, Jiang Hao replied. You have seen a tributary of the Forbidden Sea outside the boundary lands, right? That's right. That's right. Such tributaries exist in all boundary lands. The Forbidden Sea has been eroding the boundary lands for many years. Those tributaries are actually eroding the seal of the Forbidden Sea. Once the seal is broken, the boundary lands will be breached and completely become a part of the Forbidden Sea. Beside him, Li Hansong said hurriedly, the Forbidden Sea will take the initiative to erode the boundary lands? Is that part of the sea controlled by someone? What he was more worried about was whether such erosion would erode his old nest. Until now, he had not determined where his old nest was. Whether it is controlled by someone or not, this is not clear, and the possibility is not high. You also know that the Forbidden Sea is very complicated, including its seawater composition. That thing not only erodes mentality, but it can also block mentality's detection. So what exactly is the situation below the Forbidden Sea? Even absolute peak is not clear. The only thing we know is that the seawater of the Forbidden Sea will actually take the initiative to erode the areas with abundant energy. The boundary lands, under normal circumstances, are the areas with the most abundant energy. The energy there is so dense that it has turned into liquid. Freely eroding the boundary lands is also a special characteristic of the Forbidden Sea. The existence of the Imperial Sea Mountains is to resist the erosion of the Forbidden Sea. Jiang Hao said, and then added, did you not discover that at the edge of the Forbidden Sea, the energy is weaker than in the depths? Actually, the energy distribution in the catacombs is balanced. The reason why it is weak is also due to the existence of the Forbidden Sea. Seawater can absorb energy, so the closer to the Forbidden Sea, the weaker the energy. And in order to prevent the Forbidden Sea from invading, there will not be a royal city at the edge of the Forbidden Sea. This is to prevent the Forbidden Sea from becoming restless and invading the huge mine. After Jiang Hao finished, he said with a smile, the matter of the Forbidden Sea is very complicated. I can explain it clearly in a short time, and I also don't understand it very well. Let's go back to the boundary lands. A portion of the boundary lands has already been eroded. Another portion, because of the destruction of the seal, monsters roam freely, and the buildings inside have also been destroyed. Right now, it has become the Forbidden Sea Demon Clan's Forbidden Land. The other portion, on the other hand, has already been opened. Fong Ping frowned slightly. The opening that you mentioned, is it opened by us humans or by the catacombs martial artists? Both, Jiang Hao explained, and it's not our generation. Let me put it this way. Since hundreds or even thousands of years ago, there have been people who have tried the boundary lands one after another. After generations, there will always be some places that have been opened. Everything inside has mostly been plundered clean. From what I know, a portion of people have obtained incomparably huge benefits inside and stepped into the impasse realm. Not just one person, including Commander Lee and some people from the catacombs. However, that was in the past. In recent years, some boundary lands that are easy to open and do not have strong destructive power have already been opened. Now, what's left are boundary lands with incomparably huge destructive power. And the stronger the seals set up in the periphery, the stronger the strength of the boundary lands in the past. The stronger the master, the stronger the influence. Therefore, the really good things, the places with great benefits, are actually still the boundary lands that are left behind now. The Catacombs invasion, including the Patriarchs guarding Mount Royal Sea, actually has something to do with the boundary lands. Zhang Hao. Su Ziyu's face was livid. Zhang Hao sneered and said lightly, "What? Did I say something wrong? What's there to hide? Can you enter the boundary lands?" After saying that, Zhang Hao continued, "The Patriarchs guarding Mount Royal Sea, on one hand, is also to resist those peak-level experts, not letting them send a large number of people to explore the boundary lands, lest the human ancestors' relics fall into the hands of others. Of course, the Patriarchs themselves will not easily explore the boundary lands. Actually, both sides have restrictions, and both are very vigilant. However, it is very likely that a portion of the second-generation Patriarchs are still on the other side of the boundary lands. Some may have opened the boundary lands and are cultivating in seclusion inside. Some may be waiting for an opportunity to enter the boundary lands. Therefore, the possibility of all of them dying is not high. The Patriarchs still have some backup plans." Fong Ping could not help but glance at him. Zhang Hao was not an idiot, nor was he Jiang Chao, the traitor of Star City. What did he mean by telling him all these things out of the blue? Zhang Hao must have seen the change in Fong Ping's gaze. He smiled faintly and said, "There's no other meaning in telling you all this. I just want to remind you not to trespass the boundary lands. It's very easy to get into trouble. Do you also want to ask if the Yang family has a second-generation patriarch alive?" Fong Ping's pupils contracted slightly. Zhang Hao laughed. "You don't have to worry about this. All these years, the Yang family has been guarding the 11 southern territories, which is the Tianan Catacombs. There are 2 boundary lands in the Tianan Catacombs. The one you went to is also the one the Yang family has their eyes on. The other side has actually already become a forbidden area for demons. You did not encounter any Yang family members there previously, which means that even if the Yang family has a second-generation patriarch alive, he has already died." Fong Ping said softly, "What about the 3rd and 4th generations? What generation is High Grandmaster Yang Daohong?" Zhang Hao laughed. "After all, Star Town has only been established for 300 years. When they migrated back then, there were very few people, only about 10 people per family. Martial artists, especially powerhouses, have a longer lifespan than ordinary people. On average, one generation takes about 40 years. Until now, there have been at most 10 generations in each family, and at least 5 or 6 generations. From the Yang family to Grandmaster Yang Daohong, it should be the 6th generation. When it comes to Yang Qing and the rest, it should be the 8th generation. In the previous few generations, the Yang family was not very prosperous. Some died in battle one after another. Also, during the rank 9 territory riot in the Qing battlefield, a Yang family rank 9 also died there. Therefore, the Yang family should really not have any high ranks now. Beside him, Su Ziyu could not help but glare at him. She looked at Fong Ping and said, "Mr. Fong, we also know about the grudge between you and the Yang family. However, the matter has already ended during the youth tournament, and the Yang family has no intention of fighting again. After all, the 13 patriarchs built Star Town together. After the Yang family's patriarch died, it was already desolate. Now it's even more bleak. After Mr. Fong enters the city, please be understanding and try not to have any conflicts." Fong Ping did not speak, but Li Hansong smiled sheepishly. Then, if the Yang family takes the initiative to find trouble with us, probably not. Are you sure, Mr. Su? Su Ziyu frowned slightly. Li Hansong chuckled and said, actually, we are not people who cause trouble. We all know how much Star Town has sacrificed for Sino Nation. Top powerhouses stationed alone in Mount Royal Sea, sitting there for 100 years. They can't return to their homes, and they can't return to their country. Separated by a world. They are unknown, guarding the human territory and protecting human civilization. Don't we have a heart of gratitude? Yes. However, all of these are not reasons for us to be in danger and surrender without a fight. This time, we are here by invitation. We do not have any intention of causing trouble, and we will not do so. However, we are also high-ranked martial artists, and we have also fought bloody battles before. We will not tolerate being humiliated by others. If the Yang family wants to humiliate us, if they want to take revenge on us, they can do it openly. If they really want to do something in the dark, we will not be polite. Fong Ping said lightly, Han Song is right. If the Yang family wants to seek revenge on me, they can do it openly and talk openly. This is the rule of the entire martial arts world. Looking for external help, looking for powerhouses to back you up, these are all fine. If you can take it, then take it. If you can't, then admit defeat. However, other things can be avoided. Please forgive me, Big Brother Su. Su Ziyu's head was as big as a cow's. How did they end up talking about this? Beside him, Zhang Hao sneered and said lazily, all right, the possibility of these things happening is not high. The Yang family is in a slump now. If they're not stupid, they will not do these things. It's only because you mentioned it that I said this in passing. As for the rest, let's not talk about it now. Also, Star Town invited you. I'm not sure about the specifics, but it should be a mutual benefit. There are benefits for both sides. Those martial artists who were resurrected earlier all benefited from Star Town, and nothing happened to them. Therefore, this should not be a problem. As for what benefits there are in Star Town, I'm not sure either. My family did not really participate in it. My family's ancestor is an idle person, and he does not care much about these things. As for the specifics, let's wait until tomorrow to talk about it. Our mission today is to eat and drink to our heart's content. In order to entertain you, a few families in the city have sacrificed a lot. Come, let's relax. Although Fong Ping still wanted to find out the specifics, Zhang Hao said he was not sure, so the possibility of him lying to them was not high. If that was the case, Fong Ping did not stand on ceremony. He smiled and said, then we will do as you say. We also want to see the grand occasion of Sino Nation's #1 Holy Land. We won't let you down. Soon, Fong Ping and the others knew what it meant to not let them down. In the banquet hall, there was only a table of dishes and a few jars of wine. Jiang Chao, however, swallowed and hurriedly introduced the tongue of a rank 7-dragon sparrow beast. Everyone looked at the dish. The tongue of a rank 7 monster. This was indeed good stuff. Some monsters only had a portion of their essence. These essence parts were the most abundant, the purest, and the easiest to digest. They also tasted great. The paw of a rank 7 white bear beast. The belly meat of a rank 7 ground shell beast. Jiang Chao introduced 8 dishes in a row. Finally, he looked at the plate in the middle and smiled. This is amazing. Do you know what the most delicious food in the catacombs is? Mine rats. Fong Ping replied casually. This was what Qin Fengqing had told him when he first entered the catacombs. It was also because of this fellow that everyone knew that he had news of a mineral vein. Jiang Chao chuckled. That's right. However, under normal circumstances, mine rats are not ranked. Even if they are, they're at most rank 1 or 2. This time, however, this mine rat is a rank 4 monster. A mine rat that has entered the middle rank is really good stuff. It's rare even at the peak. This kind of mine rat not only devours energy in the mine, but it also devours a lot of life essence. That's why it has entered the middle rank. This is also the main dish this time. It's even rarer than rank 7 monster meat. Fong Ping was surprised. He had seen mine rats before, but most of them were the normal kind. They were not monsters. He did not expect to see a rank for one. This thing was much rarer than regular rank 7 monster meat. It was understandable that it was the main dish. Soon, Jiang Chao introduced the few jars of wine on the side. 100-year-old wine. It was a real 100-year-old wine, and it was not an ordinary wine. Many energy fruits and even some life essence were used in it. This was made by the ancestors back then. It's rare for us to drink a cup. This time, in order to entertain you, Suppressing Star City brought out 3 jars. The cellar is almost empty. Jiang Chao was full of smiles. He felt honored. After saying that, he raised his eyebrows at Qin Fengqing. Baldy, eat and drink as much as you want. Since you're in my territory, you must have some dignity. At Fangping and the rest level, it was extremely rare for them to eat. This time, however, they did not stand on ceremony. MCMU might be rich now, but it was difficult to gather all these things. Without enough resources, MCMU could not produce the 100-year-old wine alone. They had never seen a middle-ranked mine rat before. Fangping and the others did not stand on ceremony either. They ate to their heart's content. Qin Fengqing could not wait to put the plates in front of him. If this table of dishes and wine were sold for 3 to 5 billion in the outside world, there might be powerhouses who would be willing to pay. This was what it meant to be a martial artist. A meal was truly an astronomical figure. However, Suppressing Star City would not easily host a meal like this. Just the essence parts of 8 rank 7 beasts meant that they had killed 8 rank 7 beasts. This was something that was hard to come by. Fangping ate, drank, and drank some wine. He was a little tipsy. As he drank, his mind became more and more sober. Suppressing Star City was too polite. They thought too highly of them. This kind of banquet was an introductory banquet. Even a rank 9 would find it extravagant, but they used it to entertain them. They're unaccountably solicitous. They're giving us benefits and treating us with such a high standard. What do we have to offer? It was not just Fangping. Everyone else, including Qin Fengqing, who ate until his mouth was full of energy, was exceptionally clear-headed at this moment. What was Suppressing Star City trying to do? As Qin Fengqing thought about it, an idea suddenly popped into his mind. Don't tell me they want us to marry into their family? I won't do that. That's not right either. If a family really promised to provide me with the resources to cultivate to rank 9, it's hard to say. I'll wait and see. Qin Fengqing calculated these things in his mind. Without delaying his eating and drinking, he ate 30% of the dishes on the table. Jiang Chao took 20%, and the rest were for the rest. Su Ziyu and Jiang Hao immediately looked down at Qin Fengqing. This could be felt from the conversation between the two of them. Qin Fengqing did not mind. Jiang Chao, on the other hand, did not look down on him. He already knew Qin Fengqing's character. This guy did not care about his pride. Benefits were his priority. Fangping, on the other hand, used the banquet to find out more about the situation. Currently, Suppressing Star City had a total of 8 rank 9 powerhouses. There were only 8 out of 13 families in Suppressing Star City. It was not considered a lot. If Yang Daohong was included, it would be 9. Of these 8, the rank 9s of the Chun and Shin families were currently in the House of Guardians. They were not in Suppressing Star City. As for the other 6, Fangping knew that there was 1 each from the Jiang, Su, Li, and Wei families. As for the other 2, there was no need to ask in detail. These things were also told by Jiang Hao and Jiang Chao. Suzy wanted to say something a few times, but stopped herself. She had no choice but to meet these 2. In reality, this information was not too big of a secret. If Fangping really wanted to know, he could ask old Jiang. In fact, he could find out. They ate and drank until late at night. The banquet only ended. Fangping and the others returned to their respective rooms. Qin Fengqing and Jiang Chao went to spar under the influence of alcohol. No one cared about this. As for the rumbling battle in the middle of the night, no one cared about it. Qin Fengqing had entered peak rank 6. So had Jiang Chao. Before entering the king's battleground, Fatty Jiang was already upper stage rank 6. After so many days, he had also reached peak rank 6. Both of them were of the same rank. Qin Fengqing might not be stronger than Jiang Chao. Qin Fengqing's time in rank 6 was too short. His Sanjiao gate closed too quickly. He might not have adapted to the new strength. While the two fought, Fang Ping and the others did not rest. Fang Ping had been condensing and forging his golden body for the past few days. This included condensing and filling the materialized objects. Entering Star Town, he had to be prepared for the worst. He had never trusted these outsiders completely. Until now, there were not many people who were truly worthy of his trust. Old Man Li was one. Old Wang was another. Li Hansong was another. Even Yao Qingjun, Fang Ping dared not trust him completely. As for Qin Fengqing, he could trust him. Fang Ping felt that if they really fought with Star Town, this guy would definitely not be scared to death. But this bastard, if he did not give him any benefits, he might not fight to the death. He had to at least agree to some of this guy's conditions. However, thinking about it, he was only rank 6. Fang Ping could not be bothered to consider him. If this guy could escape, then he would not be a burden. Fang Ping and the others did not waste any time. They were all cultivating. Next door, Zhang Hao and Su Ziyu did not waste time either. These people seemed to be unrestrained. If they were really useless, they would not have cultivated to rank 7. All high ranks, without exception, had extremely strict requirements for themselves. Chapter 643. The night passed uneventfully. The next day, 12th of September, people came to Fang Ping's room early in the morning. A few young women dressed in delicate attire offered to help Fang Ping wash up. Fang Ping rejected them without hesitation. With a shake of his golden body, all the filth was gone. How long has it been since I last bathed? Fang Ping could not help but wonder as he walked out of the room. The last time he mocked Lu Polu for not bathing for 10 years. It had been a month or two, right? Inhuman, Fang Ping sighed in his heart. When a martial artist reached a high rank, they could really be considered inhuman. Bathing and whatnot. How much of a waste of time. With a shake of his body, all the filth was gone. Old Wang and the rest had rejected the women's service, but the people from Star Town were used to it and did not reject them. Fang Ping did not care about them. Everyone had their own habits. Zhang Hao and Su Ziyu actually needed to wash up. Aristocrats like them were really nosy. Country bumpkins like us haven't brushed our teeth or washed our faces for a long time. After a while, everyone gathered in the guest hall yesterday. Zhang Chao, a peak rank 6 martial artist, had dark circles under his eyes. They were still swollen, and he did not know how Qin Fengqing got them. As for Qin Fengqing, he did not have dark circles, but Fang Ping glanced at him. The guy had been covering his crotch, and he did not know what he was doing. The others could not be bothered with them. Su Ziyu said, "Mr. Fang, shall we make a move now?" "Sure. Thank you." As Fang Ping spoke, he asked curiously, "Is Polaris City nearby?" "Last night, I used my mentality to scan the area. I didn't feel any seal within a few thousand meters." Fang Ping did not mind saying it. In fact, they had all scanned the area last night. It would be strange if they were not curious about Star Town. Su Ziyu's eyes shone with pride. She smiled. "It's nearby. You'll know when you get there." With that, the few of them walked out together. At the door, a few martial artists watched them leave respectfully. Star Town was behind Starfate Town. Behind Starfate Town was a forest, or at least it looked like a forest. Normal high-rank martial artists would not pay much attention even if they used flight step to pass. Beyond the forest was a section of the Taihang Mountains, which was not far from the mountains. But when they got close to the forest, they found something strange. Wang Jinyang, who had always been calm, suddenly stopped in his tracks. There was a strange look in his eyes. After a while, he said, "It's fake." Yao Qingjun had long since discovered it. He said in a low voice, "An illusion. No, it's a kind of interference with mental strength. Ordinary people can't reach this place at all." Fang Ping, on the other hand, observed for a while. After a while, he said slowly, "How generous. My mentality couldn't detect the end. It's bigger than MCMAU." How big was MCMAU? 30,000 mu, 20 square kilometers. Just like that, MCMAU which had more than 10,000 people, did not seem crowded at all. Instead, it was exceptionally spacious. Fong Ping's mentality did not cover a large area, but the probing range was not small. Surprisingly, he did not manage to probe to the bottom. Beside him, Jiang Chao chuckled and said, "Startown isn't small at all. In fact, it wasn't that big in the beginning. Later on, the patriarchs slowly expanded it to include some of the smaller mountain ranges in Taihang Mountains. As such, the environment of suppressing Star City was quite good. It wasn't as monotonous as it was at the beginning, and now there were mountains and rivers. As for the surface area, it should be about 20,000 meters long and wide." Fong Ping and the others' pupils contracted. It did not sound very big, but in reality, 20,000 meters long and wide was 400 square kilometers. Although some big cities could easily cover thousands of square kilometers, that included the suburbs and districts. The area that truly belonged to the urban area, even for a metropolis like Magic City, if calculated from the area within the outer ring road, was only about 600 square kilometers. When Fong Ping heard this, he opened his mouth and said, "Everyone, can I take the flight step and have a look?" Suzy Yu smiled and said, "Yes, Mr. Fong. Do as you please." Fong Ping did not say much. Very quickly, he rose into the air and circled around. After a while, Fong Ping landed on the ground, his face full of admiration. "I've finally experienced the might of the Paragon." An area comparable to a big city was covered by a mentality barrier, yet I didn't feel too much of an anomaly. The seniors of suppressing Star City are remarkable. Suzy Yu laughed. Zhang Hao said calmly, "It's normal for the 13 patriarchs to spend so many years. What's really amazing is still the King Battleground. Creating such a boundary in one battle is not a matter of time. Therefore, the battle at the King Battleground back then was more powerful than the barrier that the 13 Paragons spent many years to build. This means that in that battle, the overall strength of the participants was much stronger than the 13 Paragons." Suzy Yu disagreed, saying, "That might not be the case. The patriarchs only did some expansion in their spare time. Battles are fought with all their might. The price paid by both sides is different." Zhang Hao did not refute. This was also a possibility. After the two of them talked for a while, a token appeared in Zhang Hao's hand. Suppressing Star City's token. The word town was written on it. Seeing this token, Fong Ping's expression suddenly changed. Not only him, Old Wang and the others did the same. The few of them remembered. Back then, after Yang Daohong and the others died in battle, they picked up such a token. After that, they seemed to have returned to rank 9 divine weapon. Fong Ping felt that this token was not too important. He did not pay much attention to it, as if he had thrown it in a corner of his storage space. At this moment, Zhang Hao took out the token. Vitality surged into the token, and the token instantly turned the color of blood jade. When the token changed color, a crystal door suddenly appeared in front of everyone. The original forest was now like water ripples, slightly rippling. Seeing Fong Ping and the others' curiosity, Jiang Chao explained, "This is suppressing Star City's pass. Everyone likes to do this kind of thing. It's the same in the bounded boundaries. The mentality barrier only recognizes the token and the bloodline aura of the 13 families. If you want to enter the city, first, you must have the token, and second, you must have the bloodline aura of the 13 families." Suzy Yu's expression darkened. Which side were the Jiang brothers on? They spilled everything. Jiang Chao did not care about him. He was very unhappy with Suzy Yu. Back then, he was a little interested in Su Zissou, but this guy always talked bad about him in front of Su Zissou. He could not beat him, or else Jiang Chao would have beaten him to death. He said what he wanted, and Suzy Yu could not control him. Jiang Chao continued, "The tokens are made by the patriarchs themselves. Outsiders can't imitate them. Actually, only high-ranked martial artists have this thing. If the rest of us are not high-ranked, you can't go out. If we want to come out and train, we can't hide it from high-ranked martial artists, because we have to inform them to open the door." "Is this the only door?" Fong Ping asked casually. "No, there are a total of 4 doors, and each side has one. The other places are purely mentality, solidified barriers. The 13 Paragon patriarchs work together to set it up, and no one can break it. As he spoke, the wave-like door became clearer and clearer. In front, Jiang Hao shouted, "You can enter now." Everyone went forward. Through the transparent door, Fong Ping could already see some of the situation in the city, but it was like a crystal, so it was a little unreal. Star Town. There were not many people in Star Town. It was not a small place, and the decorations were magnificent. The bluestone ground was paved, and the traces of time were clear. Although it was located in the north, Star Town had some of the elegance of the ancient towns in the south. Small bridges, flowing water, old houses, big courtyards. A clear river divided the ancient town into two halves, and the river led to the mountains in the depths. Some osmanthus trees were planted on the riverbank. It was the season for flowers to bloom, and the city was filled with the fragrance of osmanthus. At the end of a bluestone path, many people were gathered. There were old and young, powerhouses and weaklings. Among the crowd, some young people gathered together, standing at the back. Someone glanced at the few old men standing ramrod straight in front of them and whispered, "Grandpa Sue and the others want to pick someone up. Who is so important? Is King Wu and the others coming?" "No, I heard it's Fong Ping and the others." "Have you heard of them?" "Fong Ping." Some people were at a loss. Before reaching rank 6, many people in Star Town had never left the city in their entire lives. When they heard the name, they were at a loss at first. Then realization hit them, and they exclaimed, "You mean the one who killed Yang Feng? That's him. Why would Grandpa Sue and the others? Why would they let him come to Star Town?" "I don't know. It seems like something happened. Then the Yang family. I don't know about that. Didn't you see it just now? Yang Jingjing went to each house early in the morning. I think she's there to get them to stand up for the Yang family." "I see. I was wondering why Jingjing's eyes were red from crying so early in the morning. I thought she missed Grandpa Yang and the others." The person who spoke was not very old. As he spoke, he said indignantly, "For the past 2 years, Jingjing has been washing her face with tears every day. First, something happened to Patriarch Yang, then Grandpa Yang, second Uncle Yang, and the others. Then, Grandpa Yang, he, and Yang Feng met with trouble too. Big brother Yang Qing hasn't been back for a long time. I heard that something happened to him too. Things are already like this, yet they still let Fong Ping come to Star Town. This is too much. What are Grandpa Sue and the others thinking? Isn't this making Jingjing feel bad?" At this point, the person's eyes moved, and he said, "Could it be that they let him in and kill him to avenge the Yang family?" Someone beside him looked helpless and whispered, "Don't talk nonsense. I heard that King Wu is nurturing him. Grandpa Sue and the others won't kill him." Despicable. Many young people looked indignant. At this moment, someone said in a low voice, "Yang Jingjing is here." In Yang Qing's generation, there were not many direct descendants in the Yang family. Yang Feng and Yang Mu were not really direct descendants. In this generation, there were only Yang Qing and Yang Jingjing in the Yang family's direct descendants. Now, the Yang family's high ranks were all annihilated. The strongest one had actually become Yang Mu. However, Yang Mu seemed to have no intention of taking over as the family head. Ever since the youth competition ended, he had been in closed-door cultivation and was unwilling to show himself again. At this time, the Yang family's peak rank, 5 Yang Jingjing had taken over as the family head. This was also the only special situation in the 13 families where a middle-ranked martial artist took over as the family head. At the other end of the Bluestone Path, a few young men and women walked over together. The young woman walking in front had a head of long black hair that fell over her shoulders, and her big eyes were slightly red and swollen. Unlike the others, she was not dressed in ordinary clothes, but in snow-white clothes. In front of the crowd, a few old people who were still waiting for the door to open turned their heads and took a glance, frowning slightly. Beside Yang Jingjing, Su Zissou whispered, "Jingjing, I'm begging you go back." Yang Jingjing's eyes were red. She gritted her teeth and said, "I'm no match for him, and I won't seek revenge on him. I just want to know, where's my brother? Big brother Yang Qing entered the king's battleground. But he went last time too. After he went, my brother never came back. Yang Jingjing's eyes reddened even more. She choked and said, Elder ancestor is dead. Grandpa is dead. Second uncle and the rest are all dead. Second grandpa, cousin Feng, they're all dead. Now my brother is gone too. Susu, the Yang family is gone. I just want to ask him, why did he treat the Yang family so harshly? Is my brother dead or alive? Marshal King is powerful, but he didn't have to use the Yang family to establish his dominance. Jingjing, it's not like that, it's Susu. I know what you want to say. Yang Jingjing interrupted. You all said that cousin Feng wanted to kill him. Second grandpa wanted to kill him. These things are over, and the Yang family has no ability to seek revenge. I said, I'm here to ask if my brother is dead or not. Su Zissa looked conflicted, but she could not say anything else. At this moment, someone said in a low voice, the south door is open. As soon as this was said, everyone looked toward the end of the bluestone path. Jiang Hao stepped in. In the next moment, it was not Su Ziyu who came in, but an unfamiliar young man. The young man was dressed in black, with long black leather boots on his feet. His hair was short and sharp. At this moment, there was a wide smile on his face. As soon as he entered the door, he bowed slightly and smiled. Grandmaster Su, Grandmaster Jiang. How dare I trouble the Grandmasters to wait here? I'm flattered. Fong Ping. No, I should call you Vice-Chancellor Fong. I haven't seen you for a few days. Vice-Chancellor Fong killed a rank 8 and is ranked 3rd in the rank 7 ranking. It's impressive. Compared to you, I feel that we're really old. Vice-Chancellor Wang, Vice-Chancellor Yao, and the others are also young and promising, with outstanding grace. Both parties stood at the door and exchanged greetings. At this moment, the young people behind all knew that this was Fong Ping. He's Fong Ping? He should be. Killing a rank 80, how old is he? I think he's 20. No way. Didn't you say he was only rank 6? That's old news. I heard that Grandpa Su and the others went to his Grandmaster's banquet and entered rank 7. Everyone was discussing fervently. Behind them, Yang Jingjing was about to step forward when Su Zissou hurriedly pulled her back. With a helpless expression, she whispered, Jingjing, why don't I help you ask him? You should go back first. No, I want to ask him personally. Yang Jingjing looked stubborn. She wanted to ask herself. At the end of the Bluestone Path, while Fong Ping was exchanging greetings with Su Haoran and the others, he also glanced at the city. It was a good place with birds chirping and flowers fragrant. There was a small bridge over the flowing water and a complete set of pavilions. This was the Peach Blossom Land. There were no outsiders to disturb or the noise of the city. However, it was okay to stay in a place like this for a while. If it was too long, Fong Ping might not be able to bear it. While Fong Ping was looking around, he also saw a young woman in white among the crowd. Fong Ping was still exchanging pleasantries with Su Haoran and the others when the woman in white leaped forward. Her eyes were filled with tears as she shouted, You're Fong Ping? Jingjing. Su Haoran frowned slightly. Jiang Yuanhua did not say anything. Wei Yong sighed softly. Jingjing, Fong Ping, and the others came today because we invited them. Grandpa Wei, Jingjing knows. Jingjing won't cause trouble for everyone. I just have a few things I want to ask Fong Ping. Fong Ping heard her and smiled faintly. Just ask, Miss Yang. If Fong Ping knows, he will naturally answer. You killed Cousin Fong? That's right. Your teacher killed second grandpa? Fong Ping frowned slightly. At this moment, more and more people gathered here. Many of them looked indignant. They were not familiar with Fong Ping, but the Yang family had lived here for hundreds of years. Now that they heard Fong Ping admit that he killed Yang Feng and that his teacher killed Yang He, how could they not be angry? Fong Ping glanced at the young woman who looked similar to his sister. She also had a small round face, but at this moment, he did not think she was cute at all. Is he trying to cause public outrage? Fong Ping murmured in his heart. His expression became calm again. He said indifferently, Murderers deserve to die. This matter has long been decided by the public. What else does Miss Yang want to ask? Yang Jingjing shouted. What about my brother? My brother, Yang Qing, left the last time and never came back. Fong Ping, did you kill him? Jingjing. Someone scolded. The last time Fong Ping went to the battlefield, he returned quickly. However, Yang Qing also went missing during that time, so it was not impossible. Fong Ping said lightly, no. After saying that, Fong Ping saw that she still wanted to say more, so he raised his hand and said, Fong Ping, killed someone. Naturally, I won't deny it. If I didn't kill him, then it's not. Considering your young age, Miss Yang asked me 3 questions, and I've already answered them. Now, if you ask any more questions, I don't have to answer them. You, arrogant. This guy is still so arrogant even in Star Town, the people behind them started discussing. Fong Ping glanced at Su Haoran and the others and chuckled. Hi, Grandmaster Su. Those who know will think that we're here as guests. Those who don't might think that we're here to ask for forgiveness. I, Fong Ping, am innocent, and I don't need to ask for forgiveness from anyone. I came to Star Town because I was invited. Fong Ping interrupted with a smile. Don't mind me, High Grandmaster. I'm young and impetuous. Sometimes I like to be blunt. Desperation powerhouses protect mankind. I've said it many times. I admire and respect them. But this doesn't mean that others don't respect us. After saying that, Fong Ping shouted coldly, I've destroyed 2 royal cities. I've killed dozens of high-ranked martial artists from the catacombs. I've been a general in the military department. The enemies I've killed are more than you've ever seen. The Paragon can look down on me, but it's not up to you to question me. I have family and a younger sister. If my sister dares to question and criticize a Grandmaster, I, Fong Ping, will not let her off lightly. Star Town has disappointed me again and again. The younger generation is ridiculous, arrogant. After saying that, a fist shadow broke through the air. Su Haoran's face was livid. He shouted angrily, Bastard! Just as he was about to attack, Fong Ping leaped into the air and punched with his golden fist. In the void, the fist shadow shook the sky. The surrounding young men and women felt like they were suffocating. Bang! A loud bang was heard. In the distance, a young martial artist was sent flying hundreds of meters, blood splattering in the air. Fong Ping landed on the ground. He glanced into the distance, snorted softly, and said nothing. The other young people also kept quiet at this moment. The person who attacked just now was an upper stage rank 7. His reputation in Star Town was no less than Jiang Hao's. However, with one punch, he was severely injured by Fong Ping. At this moment, he was sent flying, and he was nowhere to be seen. It was obvious that either his injuries were not light, or he felt too embarrassed to show his face again. Beside him, Su Haoran sighed softly. I'm sorry, we didn't discipline him well. Meng Yu is not a troublemaker. Just now he was probably itching for a fight. Please forgive him, Vice-Chancellor Fong. Fong Ping smiled. It's understandable. Among the rank 7 martial artists, I, Fong Ping, am ranked 3rd. There are many people who are not convinced. Meng Yu can take a punch with 30% of my strength. Among the younger generation, he's considered a powerhouse. Fong Ping smiled calmly, but his words were insolent. For a moment, even the Grandmasters were speechless. Fong Ping did not care about them. These old fellows might not be as kind as they appeared. He had already said that he was here as a guest, yet they still sent people to test him. What was the meaning of this? Would a rank 9 powerhouse react so slowly? Logically, Meng Yu's figure had not even been seen. Once he attacked, Su Haoran and the others should have reacted. There were 3 rank 9s here. Would they not be able to take a punch from a rank 7 martial artist? What a joke! However, they did not stop him. Since they were like this, Fong Ping did not stand on ceremony. He smiled again. I've always been willing to spar with people of the same rank. Upper stage or peak, I'm fine with either. If you're interested, I can arrange a few matches. However, on the first day I learned martial arts, my teacher taught me that when martial artists go into the arena, victory and defeat will be decided and life and death will be decided. Su Haoran and the other's pupils contracted slightly. Fong Ping smiled again. Even if it's a rank 9 spar, although I can't do it, MCMEU has 2 rank 9 grandmasters. We can also have a friendly match. As for a desperate situation, everyone, please look for Minister Zhang. MCMEU can't afford it. Wei Yong chuckled. Vice-Chancellor Fong, you're too serious. Su Haoran also said, that's not what Stellar Sky City meant. Beside them, Jiang Yuanhua smiled. All right, this farce should be over. Let's go to the conference hall and have a chat. As he said that, he turned around and shouted, all right, all of you are dismissed. If you really want to die, then arrange for a spar at the airport. I can help you arrange it. Life and death will not be decided. As soon as he said that, some people were annoyed, some were unwilling, but no one said a word. At this moment, Fong Ping could not help but glance at Jiang Yuanhua and the others. Beside him, Jiang Hao said lazily, don't look. It's on purpose to save some trouble. Martial artists are all like this, asking for a beating. All of them think they're the best in the world. If you beat them up, they'll behave. It's better to let them out than to block them. Even if I didn't tell you in advance, I don't think you'll lose to them. Fong Ping also smiled. So, you want me to make an example out of them? Wrong. Make an example out of them. Old Monkey and the others are already rank 9. Can you make an example out of them? Beside him, Wei Yong and Su Haoran both glanced at him. Jiang Yuanhua was also straightforward. With a wave of his hand, he slapped Jiang Hao until he disappeared. Only then did he laugh. You're used to being disrespectful, but Jiang Hao is right. These juniors have not left Star Town for a long time. Instead of suppressing them, it's better to let them suffer a little. It's fine if I hit them harder just now. Since you're here in Star Town, I dare not say anything else. But if someone provokes you here, if you don't kill them, then I'll bear all the responsibility. If a rank 8 or 9 attacks you, don't worry. There's no need for MCMAU and King Wu to come. Star Town doesn't have this kind of atmosphere. Other than that old thing Yanghe, no one would bully the weak. Don't think that Yanghe is Star Town. He doesn't represent Star Town. Even if the Yang family's elder ancestor was still alive, I would still say the same. After saying that, Jiang Yuanhua looked at Yang Jingjing, who was not far away, and said calmly, go back. Recuperate well. Star Town won't abandon anyone, but we won't allow you to do whatever you want either. You're still young. Cultivate well. If there's a day when you think you can take revenge on Fong Ping, Jiang Yuanhua looked at Fong Ping and said, Fong Ping, on account of the elder ancestor standing up for you a few times, if that day comes, I'll arrange for the two of you to have a fair fight. What do you think? Fong Ping chuckled. Since old Jiang said so, I have no objections. Jiang Yuanhua smiled and nodded. He looked at Yang Jingjing again and said, you heard him. If you want revenge, martial artists don't need to scheme. As long as you're stronger than Fong Ping, then you'll have a chance. If you're not as strong as him, then you'll have to cultivate in Star Town. Yang Jingjing, you're already the head of the Yang family. I won't treat you like a child anymore. Go back and stir up trouble again. Don't blame Star Town for ignoring our 300 years of kinship. Among the crowd, Yang Jingjing's eyes were red. She looked around and said nothing more. She turned and left. After she left, Jiang Yuanhua said to Fong Ping, don't worry. If she really succeeds in her cultivation, she won't implicate anyone in the Fong family. Star Town won't allow this either. Beside him, Li Hansong said gloomily, so, she's the only one who can seek revenge on Fong Ping? Fong Ping pressed his hands together and smiled. This isn't to give her face, but to give Senior Warlord face. Senior Warlord has protected me many times, and I can't repay him. If a weak girl wants revenge, then come. I have to repay Senior Warlord's favor. Jiang Yuanhua sighed softly when he said that. He did not know if he had lost out on this matter. Fong Ping had returned Warlord's favor with a few simple sentences. Warlord had protected Fong Ping 3 times, once in Nanjiang, once in the King Battleground, and once in the Magic City Catacombs. A debt of gratitude was really hard to repay. Fong Ping was happy to use this kind of thing to return the favor. Very good. He was not like old Zhang. Old Zhang was too cunning. Although he had taken a lot of benefits from Fong Ping, he did owe him a lot of favors that had not been repaid. The favor that Fong Ping owed now would not be of any help to Absolute Summit. However, no one could say for sure what would happen in the future. Jiang Yuanhua had made Fong Ping passively accept someone else's revenge. This was not right, but he had used Warlord to speak, so naturally, the favor had been repaid. Fong Ping was still very satisfied. As for what Jiang Yuanhua thought, it was none of his business. Behind him, Jiang Chao glanced at his grandfather. Was the old man sick? Fong Ping and the others obviously had a bright future ahead of them. Was it necessary to use the old man's favor for the Yang family? Fatty Zhang would not believe that the old man did not have the intention of doing them a favor the past few times. The first time was in Nanjiang, the second was in the King Battleground, and the third time was without Zhang Tao's invitation. The old man took the initiative to go to the Magic City catacombs. His intentions were clear. The old man must be out of his mind. Jiang Chao cursed in his heart, but he dared not say it out loud. Otherwise, the old man would beat him until his head was out of his mind. Chapter 644. Fong Ping really did not think much of the younger generation in Star City. It was not just him. Qin Fengqing was also extremely arrogant, looking at the middle-ranked martial artists provocatively. Star Town's intention was clear. If Fong Ping and the others wanted to spar with the young people, they would not stop them. As long as both parties had no objections, it was up to them as long as no one died. Since the other party was provoking Fong Ping, Qin Fengqing felt that there was nothing wrong with provoking them now. Therefore, Qin Fengqing looked at the rank 6 youths with divine weapons and spat a few mouthfuls of phlegm or saliva. It was full of provocation. Fong Ping and the others ignored him, not even Su Haoran and the others. As long as they did not die, they could spar as they pleased. The older generation of Star Town had a lot of experience. They had also been young and frivolous, so they knew what the younger generation of Star Town was thinking. Back then, Li Mo had even gone to MCMEU to challenge the old vice-chancellor. As Zhang Hao said, martial artists were full of confidence, thinking that they were the best in the world. After being beaten up, they would naturally know the difference. Seeing that no one cared, Qin Fengqing became bolder. He muttered, "Don't look at me because I'm peak rank 6. I'm very weak. I can't even beat early stage rank 6. I don't have anything but money. Life essence in tons. If you have the guts, let's fight. I'll bet dozens of divine weapons." Having said that, he glared at Jiang Chao beside him. Jiang Chao's face darkened, seeing the baldy threatening him. He was full of grievances. "This is my lair. Are you threatening me?" "Fine." The baldy was quite fierce. He was beaten up last night and cheated of a divine weapon in the past. Thinking of this, Jiang Chao sighed in his heart and whispered, "Do you have a death wish? There are many rank 6 martial artists in the city who are much stronger than me. You can't even beat me. I almost broke that thing last night, and you're still provoking me." "You! Stop talking nonsense. I also beat you up last night." "Baldy, are you stupid? I don't rely on fighting for a living. We're the same rank, but you're actually not my match." As Jiang Chao said that, he whispered, "Do you really have life essence?" "Nonsense. We won the battle in Skygate City, and I got a few dozen kilograms. I also had some savings in the past. A few tons is a joke, but at least 100 kilograms. Then let's cut the crap. Let's go and spar." "I'm not doing it. You're not going to bet with me on divine weapons." "Let's bet. My boots are divine weapons." "Only one? That's too little." My pervert has 2 swords and a set of divine weapon armor. I'll use them to bet." "Really?" "Of course. We'll definitely win anyway." The two of them echoed each other. The people walking in front all looked at Jiang Yuanhua. Jiang Yuanhua's handsome face was ashen. "My grandson is working with others to swindle the people of Star City. Damn, is this my grandson? Did they carry the wrong child?" Putting aside the fact that he was fat, He was almost as fat as the old ancestor. But what was going on with him working with others to harm his own people? Although MCMU's Qin Fengqing was not as powerful as Feng Ping and the others, as a sacred place, Star Town's intelligence network was still very strong. Qin Fengqing, who was only an early-stage rank 6 not long ago, entered the rank 6 ranking 99th. Now, not long after, he had achieved peak rank 6. These things, they were not very clear about the situation. They could only explain it as the resurrection of a martial artist. His strength had increased a lot in an instant. Was the current Qin Fengqing really weak? This was a powerhouse who had walked out a mountain of corpses. It was said that he had entered the catacombs countless times. In the Battle of Sky Gate City, he had truly achieved invincibility among his peers, killing more than double digits of rank 6 martial artists. When he sparred with a martial artist like this, it was a real sparring session. Qin Fengqing and Jiang Chao had a good relationship, and it did not involve interests. However, once he bet on divine weapons, Feng Ping shook his head at the thought. At that time, Qin Fengqing would probably dare to fight even at mentality-vitality fusion. Moreover, it was hard to say whether he would live or die. He did not say that it was hard to say who would win or lose. Qin Fengqing was most likely not a match for mentality-vitality fusion. But on the stage, life and death and victory were different. Once this guy's eyes turned red, he might risk his life. If a mentality-vitality fusion realm fought him, it was hard to say who would die. Behind them, the two of them continued. As Jiang Chao spoke, he suddenly lowered his voice so low that it could not be heard. He whispered, "Why don't we fight for real? I'll go look for my pervert. That divine weapon armor belongs to me. And the divine weapon belongs to you?" Qin Fengqing swallowed, whispering, "What does he want?" "It's hard to say, but if you take out the life essence, he might do it." "He believes you?" "Nonsense. I'm still his younger brother." Then I'll go ask Feng Ping. But one divine weapon is too little. The divine weapon armor is 3 times the value of a normal divine weapon. Then what do you want? I'll suffer some losses. Give me your boots too. This? Okay. Then it's settled. But it's best to wait a little longer. When your people can't help but challenge me, I'll get 2 divine weapons first. That won't do. If you win, my pervert won't believe that I can win. Is that so? Then it's a little troublesome. Why don't we sign a wager and battle agreement first, then fight one by one and stake the items first? That seems possible. Both of them were not high ranks and did not have a mentality shield. Although their voices were so low that they could not be heard, rank 6 powerhouses probably could not hear them. But the key was that there were rank 9 powerhouses present. Feng Ping could hear them. At this moment, his expression was very pleasant. Jiang Yuanhua was so angry that his face was livid. This damn fatty. He even wanted to cheat his own big brother? Even collaborating to cheat. What was he thinking? Where was his brain? The 2 rank 9s, Wei Yong and Su Haoran, did not say a word, holding back their laughter. Continue, this was possible. Anyway, they could not be bothered with the Jiang family's affairs. Jiang Hao was also a detestable person in Star Town. If the 2 divine weapons were really cheated away, then it would be interesting. Both of them were still talking when Jiang Yuanhua suddenly scolded, "Shut up. If you continue talking, I'm going to clean house today. Last time, this kid sold Star Town." To be honest, standing up for the Yang family today was kind of like paying off Jiang Chao's debt. But this damn fatty, he was doing it again. Last time when Jiang Chao sold everything in Star Town, he was the one who revealed to the public that Yang Daohong and the others were going to the bounded zones. This matter could not be hidden. Jiang Yuanhua had given him a good beating before. Unexpectedly, this fellow did not learn his lesson. If not for this matter, would he have used the old ancestor's favor to pay off the debt? It was not Jiang Yuanhua's fault. This damn fatty was the one who cheated his grandfather and the old ancestor. Okay. Feng Ping sympathized with old Master Jiang a little. It was really not normal for you to have 2 grandsons. These 2 grandsons were enough to give you a headache. Only Warlord was strong. Otherwise, he might not be able to protect them. Thinking of this, Feng Ping thought of something and said, "Old Jiang, Jiang Chao's parents, He realized that these descendants in Star Town seemed to be hanging around the old man. Could it be that his parents had died in battle? Hearing that, Jiang Yuanhua sighed. His father is useless. He's still rank 6 now. He can't stay in Star Town forever. Plus how? He's already rank 7. A few years ago, he went to the military department. Fong Ping was a little surprised. So that was it. His son was stronger than his father. No wonder Jiang Chao's father could not stand it and ran away. However, brother Jiang Chao's relationship with his father might not be that good. He had almost never heard Jiang Chao mention it. As they walked, they reached the center of the small city. When they reached the center, Fong Ping and the others could not help but look at the tower in the center. Li Hansong murmured, "Fong Ping, did you build it according to this?" Fong Ping shook his head, then smiled. "This is Star Town's martial arts tower?" "That's right." Su Haoran continued. "This tower is built entirely from rank 9 energy stones. It's solidified and guided by the mentality of the ancestors. There are 6 floors in the tower, and each floor has 10 rooms. Every cultivation room will absorb the energy in the energy stones evenly. When the consumption reaches a certain level, we will break a large number of low-grade energy stones to replenish it. Rank 9 energy stones can absorb energy to replenish it. This way, although it can't be endless, with low-grade energy stones to replenish it, this martial arts tower is a holy land for cultivation." Fong Ping was still a little envious. It was good to have a peek. This tower was not quite the same as his mineral vein. His mineral vein was a mix of mid-grade and high-grade energy stones. There were rank 7 and rank 9 high-grade energy stones, and there were even some energy crystals mixed in. This tower, on the other hand, was really built purely from rank 9 energy stones. Pure rank 9 energy stones were really worth 600,000 per gram. This was MCMAU's buyback price, and also the system's estimated price. 2,000 caddies per ton. That was worth 600 billion, no discount. How heavy was this tower? Jiang Chao and the others had told him before. At that time, Fong Ping estimated that it was at least tens of thousands of caddies. Now that he had seen the real thing, Fong Ping did a rough calculation. Even if it was hollow in the middle, this 6-story tower was at least 50,000 caddies. 25 tons. 15 trillion. Fong Ping's expression was indifferent. He did not say anything, but it made the rank 9s look up to him. However, when they thought about how MCMAU had seized Sky Gate City's giant mine before, they could understand. Fong Ping was not someone who had not seen the world. Although this guy was young, he was strong and had seen many big scenes. A martial arts tower was indeed difficult to move him. Fong Ping did not say anything, and neither did Old Wang and the others. However, each of them swept a few glances at the martial arts tower, their faces indifferent, as if calculating the effects of cultivating here. Behind them, Li Fei and the others who had just arrived had already gathered with Fatty. Seeing that the few in front of them were scanning the martial arts tower, Zheng Nanqi swallowed and said in a low voice, This should be okay, right?" He remembered that day when these few entered the king's battleground. Their eyes were bloodshot. When they saw those divine weapons, it was as if they were on steroids, their eyes green. Each of them was like a vicious wolf. But now, could it be that becoming a grandmaster had changed their personalities? The few of them looked indifferent, as if they did not see that this martial arts tower was built with rank 9 energy stones. Even Qin Fengqing, who was at the side, looked indifferent at this time. Jiang Chao glanced at Qin Fengqing from the corner of his eye. There was nothing unusual, but, damn it, the A-class alloy hilt in your hand is almost deformed from your grip. How excited are you? Jiang Chao was mentally exhausted. He glanced at the few old men in front of him. All of you should leave quickly. Why are you still here? Don't show your wealth, understand? Showing off your wealth in front of a few thugs with tens of thousands of kilograms of rank 9 energy stones. Aren't you afraid of being robbed? It was still okay now, but when these fellows became stronger, it was hard to say. When they became really strong, the probability of these fellows robbing the catacombs would be higher. Jiang Chao consoled himself for a while, then thought, What does this have to do with me? The martial arts tower doesn't belong to me. This place was shared by everyone. If they were robbed, it would have nothing to do with him. He rarely came here to cultivate. Just as Jiang Chao was cursing silently, Qin Fengqing said, "There don't seem to be many good things in Star Town. Why don't I use my life essence to bet on the Martial Path Tower? This building is quite beautiful. I like it." Li Fei and the rest did not know what was going on and looked confused. Behind them, Su Zisu also walked over. She glared at Jiang Chao and Qin Fengqing, then looked at the crowd and scolded, "Don't believe them. Qin Fengqing is very strong. You guys can't beat him." In front, Su Haoran's heart was also broken. "Granddaughter, are you sure you're not adding fuel to the fire?" They were all young people. Could they take this kind of provocation? Even if they did not want to challenge Qin Fengqing, after hearing this, could they hold it in? Among the younger generation in Star Town, Su Zisu might not be pursued by everyone, but there were many who did. There were both men and women present. The women might not care, but what about the men? The women who pursued them told them to stop fighting. They couldn't do it. This was not persuasion, but the opposite. "You must fight. Beat that bastard to death." The two ranked 9 powerhouses looked sorrowful. They were getting worse with each generation. Although they were muddle-headed when they were young, they were not stupid. How did these two become fools? As they were thinking about this, as expected, some of the young men and women in the periphery squeezed in. Someone glanced at the high ranks in front. Seeing that they did not say anything, he whispered, "Qin Fengqing, right? If you have the guts, let's go to the arena later and fight." "Sure, other than that divine weapon, do you have anything else?" "You, forget it. Seeing how poor you are, I'll bet on your divine weapon. I'll pay the equivalent of my life essence." "Okay, don't be like this, you guys. We lost 5 divine weapons last time." Su Zisu panicked, saying hurriedly, "Qin Fengqing is provoking you guys on purpose. He defeated Jiang Chao last time when he was only a rank 5. Jiang Chao humphed. "Did I lose last time? Who was more injured? I withdrew because I thought you guys could win later. Qin Fengqing is the weakest." Fong Ping and the others agreed to you guys last time. The facts have proven that they are indeed strong. Without Fong Ping and the others, can Baldy win? "Jiang Chao, did I say something wrong?" As Jiang Chao spoke, he winked at Qin Fengqing. When the second young man walked over, seeing that he did not have a divine weapon, Qin Fengqing looked like he was going to refuse. Jiang Chao said casually, "Jiang Nan, are you going to bet with your golden fruit? Your uncle Jiang risked his life to get it for you." The man called Jiang Nan was stunned. Qin Fengqing's eyes lit up, saying casually, "That works too. This kind of energy fruit is helpful in building the body. It could be used as a bet." "Lu Ji, you're not going to bet with your Dark Moon Herb, are you? That's for you to use after you've achieved Mentality-Vitality Fusion. This can also be used as a bet. It's not worth much." At the back, Jiang Chao and Qin Fengqing echoed each other. Jiang Chao was not tempted at first, but seeing that there were more people, he suddenly put his hand on Qin Fengqing's shoulder and squeezed him hard for a while. "Half each. Otherwise, he would quit." These guys were so impulsive, so easily hooked. He wanted benefits too. If he got some good stuff, he might be able to achieve Mentality-Vitality Fusion quickly. Everyone did not know what agreement the two had reached. They only knew that after that, Jiang Chao went around persuading everyone to stop betting and not to bet with good stuff. Although Qin Fengqing was not his opponent, they might not be able to beat him. Jiang Chao, could win because Jiang Chao, was powerful. "Were you guys more powerful than me, Jiang Chao?" If it was someone else saying this, no one would object. But the lazy Jiang Chao, this damn fatty, dared to look down on them. How could they tolerate it? More and more people gathered at the back. As for Fong Ping and the others, they had already left with Su Haoran and the others. They did not want to listen anymore. Su Haoran and Zhang Yuanhua did not want to say a word now. Jiang Chao was the scum of Star City. Everyone acknowledged this. Su Zisu could only say that she was too naive. She was still persuading them, sweating profusely from anxiety. Was this girl pretending to be stupid? It would have been better if she did not say anything. The more she said, the angrier everyone became. Previously, The rank 7 Meng Yu was sent flying by Fong Ping with one punch. He dared not show his face until now. It was fine if the rank 7 people were not Fong Ping's opponents. How could a rank 6 not be Qin Fengqing's opponents? If Jiang Chao could win, why couldn't they? They had not even been to the King battleground. It was not that they did not ask around. MCMAU's Qin Fengqing was not famous. They heard that he was a once-honed martial artist. How could geniuses like them not be a match for a martial artist like this? Once honed, peak rank 6 in his 20s. Did he have time to cultivate combat techniques? A martial artist like this probably stayed in the energy mine to cultivate all day long. They really believed Qin Fengqing when he said that he had hundreds of caddies of life essence. Otherwise, there was no reason for this guy to cultivate so quickly after once honing. After they were far away from this group of people, Jiang Yuanhua suddenly sighed. Sometimes, I'm actually confused. Is it good to keep going like this? If you're not rank 6, you can't even leave Star Town. When martial artists from the outside world were their age, they'd entered the catacombs dozens of times. Their hands were already covered in the enemy's blood. They've killed at least 80 enemies, if not 100. But these kids say, Jiang Yuanhua was really a little sad. He did not know what to say for a moment. Beside him, Su Haoran said softly, Your 2 kids are not bad. My family is really a headache. Ziyu, Zisu, and the rest are too young. They don't know anything about the ways of the world. But if they're really thrown into the catacombs at such a young age, can you bear to do that? Fong Ping continued, It'll get better after a long time. My sister is the same. She doesn't know anything. I'm also troubled by this. If I don't let her go through this, I'm afraid she'll be cheated in the future. If I let her go through it, I'm afraid something will happen. It's hard being a parent. Instead of suffering losses in the catacombs in the future, it's better to suffer losses in the hands of our own people now. Look at Li Fei and the rest. I realize they're much more mature now. It's hard, Jiang Yuanhua had just echoed when he suddenly looked at Fong Ping with a strange expression. You're just a 20-year-old young man. Is it appropriate for you to echo us, like an old man? To suffer losses in the hands of our own people? Aren't you just saying that they should fight a few rounds and lose badly to improve their memory? Li Fei and the rest are much more mature now. So mature that they even lost their divine weapons. This kid Fong Ping, he's so young. How could he be so black-hearted? At this moment, the few rank 9s had a clear understanding of Fong Ping. He was thick-skinned and black-hearted. It was not without reason that this guy could be so popular in the outside world. It was not that they did not communicate with the outside world. Zhang Tao's protection of this kid was now a public matter. It was not just Zhang Tao. Many Grandmaster powerhouses they knew had nothing but good things to say about Fong Ping. When this kid should be insolent, he would be insolent to the extreme. When he should be low-key, he would be low-key to the extreme. When he spoke to people, he would speak to ghosts. Jiang Yuanhua suddenly did not want to talk to Fong Ping. This guy was not a good person. Su Haoran, who was beside him, scanned Fong Ping for a while. This kid was a talent. If his family Su could be together, Su Haoran thought for a while, but did not say anything. Although Fong Ping kept stirring up trouble, he was indeed very capable and had a strong background. As a commoner, he had been in the martial arts world for 2 years. Not only did he become a grandmaster, but he also had a large group of powerhouses behind him. This was not an easy feat looking at the people present. Wang Jinyang, Li Hansong, Yao Qingjun, who was not a dragon among men. However, after they came in, they all followed Fong Ping's lead. A genius who could subdue the prodigies of his generation was the real deal. Could people like Wang Jinyang be convinced by others? Even rank 9 might not be able to convince them. In addition, there were many powerhouses in MCMAU. Zhang Tao was also protecting them. In the military department, Li Daong and the others were also on good terms with Fong Ping. In martial arts universities, many grandmasters were also close to Fong Ping. After careful consideration, although Fong Ping did not reveal himself, when it came to the point of risking his life, it might not be difficult to gather 30 to 50 grandmasters. They did not say anything. Wei Yong glanced at a middle-aged rank 7 beside him. Others did not care, but the Wei family's disciples were not allowed to gamble on natural treasures. They could spar, but they were not allowed to add stakes. There were many good things in Star Town. They and the elder ancestor had gone through a lot to get them. They could not let this group of brats spoil them. As for the other families who did not have elders coming, that was their business. If they lost, they could not blame them for not asking. They did not talk about this anymore. After passing the martial arts tower, they walked along the bluestone path for a while. In front of them, a palace building appeared in front of them. Su Haoran said, "This is the meeting hall. It is also the place where the elder ancestors gather to discuss matters when they return. This time, I invited all of you here. There are still some things that must be clarified to avoid misunderstanding. In addition, we have also invited a few resurrected martial artists from the back of the mountain to rush over." As he spoke, Qin Fengqing had also rushed over. He held more than 10 notes in his hands, his face full of joy. It was only when he saw Fang Ping and the others that his joy faded, and he stuffed all the notes into his pocket. These were all challenge letters. Everything that was bet was written clearly. He had already said that they would spar after he was done with the official business. This time, he wanted to take all the benefits. Qin Fengqing was secretly pleased. Fang Ping and the others were already rank 7. Sometimes some things were not easy to handle. He was only rank 6. Instead, his chances were greater. Fang Ping glanced at him and did not care about him. "Do you really think you will win? If I don't give you any benefits and help you recover, you will be beaten to death sooner or later after a few fights. If you want to win, then spit out the benefits honestly. Do you think I will really give you all? You will be the fighter, and I will be behind the scenes. It's not bad. After all, he was already a grandmaster. He could not simply step down from the stage and do this kind of thing. It would be a joke." Su Haoran glanced at them, feeling somewhat helpless. He did not care about Qin Fengqing and continued, "Let's go in. Also, the other families will also send people over later. It's really rare for resurrected martial artists to come to Star City only after reaching rank 7. Su Haoran did not know what he was thinking, but he felt a little emotional. Resurrected martial artist cultivation was not that simple. Some resurrected martial artists might die of old age as ordinary people. It was not impossible. Fang Ping and the others were young. They had only come to Star City after cultivating to this stage. Moreover, they had the support of the Martial King behind them. Some things could not be done according to the usual practice. If that was not the case, there was no need for 3 rank 9s to personally receive them. At the high ranks, everything was different. 4 middle and low-ranked resurrected martial artists. No matter what the situation was, whatever they said would go. There was no need to care too much. Fang Ping did not reply. He followed everyone into the meeting hall. Before entering the hall, Fang Ping's expression changed slightly. Outside the hall, there were several sculptures more than 10 meters tall. They were all faceless. Were these the sculptures from Star City's peak? Fang Ping swept his gaze around. There were 12 sculptures. These sculptures were made entirely of energy crystals. Such a huge energy crystal actually represented such a huge and complete energy stone. Fang Ping had almost never seen it before. Even in the royal city's giant mine, he had not seen such a huge and complete one. Moreover, there were traces of time left on them. How many years ago were these sculptures really energy crystals that had used up all their energy? Perhaps they were huge energy stones that were filled with energy. 12 sculptures. Fang Ping was slightly suspicious. The Yang family's elder ancestor had fallen, so they were withdrawn? Was Star City so realistic? P.S. Recommended book, The Empress's Gigolo, a book with 10,000 subscriptions. The author is also a super big shot, just a little ugly. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.